Hey everybody, got some new stand-up dates that I'm excited to tell you all about. On April 19th, I will be hosting High Desert Relief's 420 show at Launchpad. I'll be there alongside my friends, the Mango Cakes and the Rhythms. Very excited for that. April 25th, I will be at Revel Backstage. Myself and Trip Stilnecki will be taking each other on in the roast battles. And then on May 2nd, I'll be at the Guild Cinema featuring for Ben Roy. May 3rd, I'll be over at Unhinged Brewing. And then May 17th, I'll be up in Santa Fe at Knuckles Brewery. Then on May 27th, Austin, Texas, I will be at the Creek in the Cave for Lady Titty Tuesdays, their gong show. Super excited for that. Going out to Austin again. And then rounding out the month, I will be doing Don't Tell back here in Albuquerque on May 30th. All of the events that have ticket links will be in my bio on Instagram. Very excited to be all these shows. Hope to see you guys there. I am happy you're back. I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, man.
Love talking to you, man.
Yeah.
How's life?
Oh, it's so busy.
Yeah.
So busy. So many things that are great that's going on. So many things that I notice. You know, I always have an opinion on stuff.
That's why I love talking to you, man. First of all, cheers. Very happy.
Oh,
to
yeah.
have
What
you
is
here.
this, bro?
It's just bullet.
Okay. I was like, man, my boy might have roofie molly me. I don't even know what you, they ain't got no label or nothing.
Now, if there's something special and they were both going down at the same time.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. I do want to say, too, I don't think I've been able to, really talk to you about this since we did it, but I appreciate the last podcast you and I did at your place, the debate, right before, after? No, as the election was happening. It was
Yeah.
the day,
Yeah.
That was the day.
Yeah.
That was the Monday before.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that whole conversation. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, man. I think people nowadays, man, especially in these times, if you haven't noticed, I'm very opinionated, but I also love people who are the same way, who think opposite, because that's how I learn.
Yeah.
I love someone who can articulate their thoughts. That shit, I love to know how people think, even if I don't agree with it. Like, hell, me and Larry, we fight every day. But it's dope. It's dope, though, because some people be like, how the fuck are you and Larry cool? I was like, because he's a dude, man. Like, I like the stuff like that. Like, that's just how I am.
No, yeah, it's you don't want to live in an echo chamber. Like, now, granted, a lot of your close friends are going to share the same moral values, the same ethical values. Like, there are some things that, and it's humanistic. You know, there are things that people disagree on where you just can't form a relationship past a certain point. That's just how it is. But yeah, for the most part, when it comes to like political shit and stuff like that, most of it is a continued debate. Let's put it that way.
Well, I just like talking to people who either know their shit or tell you they don't know shit.
Yeah. Which I'm happy to do.
Same. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know.
Because a lot of my friends are like, what do you think about these tariffs? I'm like, dude, I failed every math class in high school. I'm a 3-time college attendee. Bro. I know the basics of what a tariff is, and I understand that most of what he's doing right now is like gamble.
Man.
And we're waiting to figure out what I don't know.
I feel like there's going to be some MAGA people who's going to have kids in 2026. Tarifa. Terrafina. It's going to be a whole lot of names of kids with tariff in it, I feel like, just because they don't know what the hell it is. I don't know either, but watch what I tell you. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, the basics that I know about it is just that if your country is selling me stuff and I decide to put a 25% tariff on you and your good is $100, I pay $125 at the thing. And then and I guess his rationale is like, there's been tariffs on us left and right. Let's reciprocate it. And then I heard a really good breakdown from Dave Smith. He was talking. He's like, well, here's why the reciprocal tariffs aren't what they actually are. Blah blah blah. I don't understand enough of that to retain it. All I know is that there should be basic civil liberties. War is bad, and I don't know. I'd like to have a president that cares about the country.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
all I gotta say is, I just want him, when he says something, stand on it.
Yeah, same.
Stand on it, because I'm beginning to see a pattern. He'll say some stuff to rile people up, and then right when it gets to the time to do it, wait a minute, hold up, let's chill on that.
That seems,
and I'm like, nah, bro, if you're gonna do it. Don't yo-yo with it. Just do it.
That seems to, unfortunately, that seems to be the common denominator in his cabinet right now. And I was having a conversation with a friend about this a couple of nights ago, and they were asking me, like, what do you not like? Because they're like so against Trump, like against the Republican Party, that all this stuff. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, his cabinet. These were all people that I was about it for. Look,
that cabinet raggedy as fuck.
The only guy who's really sticking to his word is RFK, and even with him, he's going around tweeting about how anti-Semitism is a national health crisis.
Yeah,
it's like I don't, dude.
Yeah,
it's like you kissed the wall, dude.
It's like get all of them off of social media. Take their phones, because that's where they fucking up at. They too old to be on social media. Come on, let's be real. Social media, I only got a couple more left, bro. Like, these dudes old as shit, and it seems like they wake up and their thumbs are shaky and they just put whatever out there. And I'm like, oh, man, get off social media.
Yeah.
Because now it's so instant.
Yeah.
As soon as you press send, it's instant.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at chopchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to chopchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast.
And you got to stick by that shit.
Yeah.
And when they say some outlandish stuff, it's like, oh, bruh.
Well, it's like...
To me, it's straight, as comedians, that shit is straight entertainment, bro. I'm like, yes, keep the shit coming. Keep the premises coming, man.
Well, even with the with the whole Signal debacle, like, clearly the head guy, I forget his name, it's Michael Waltz, I think. I didn't know this, but he was the head counterterrorist dude for Bush. And it's like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense why this is all happening. And so obviously he needs to be fired. And
he gotta go.
Like, he went on Laura Ingraham and gave the most bullshit response.
That's what it's saying when they get on and they ask him a straight up question. So what do you... man, it was just, No,
his excuse was that the phone number for the reporter got sucked into his phone.
Nah, bro. No,
are you kidding me?
Nothing gets sucked into your phone, bro.
Yeah, and then
can you?
And then my whole thing's like, okay, so the people involved, like Hegseth, he's a GWAT guy. I understand. Like, I don't agree with it, but I expect the celebration of bombing Yemen yet again. I expect that from him. So that didn't surprise me.
That can't be public, man.
Right. But what disappointed me was Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
she was kind of low-key about it, but she was still cheering on the bombing in Yemen. And I'm like, yo, you were supposed to be the one.
Yeah.
Out of anybody in this cabinet, you were supposed to be the one. Well, actually, Trump, too, based off his comments during the campaign. But, like, you've been on this for your whole career. Saying regime change wars are bad. We need to get out of...
But see, this is what happens because you think it's one thing, but in real time, it's a whole different situation because I feel like they all had to say what they had to say to get to where they're at. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And now that they're there, it's like, well, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, same.
It's just like, I'm here. Fuck y'all. Like, whatever we do that's messed up, whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, oh, you truly are all, even the grifters, even the ones that were supposed to be against the regime, against the apparatus that's been tearing this country apart for the better part of 40 years. even you guys get to that position, you get corrupted. All
Yeah,
right. Sounds good. We're done.
I
We're
don't
done.
want to hear this. He's an outsider. He's
not anymore.
Nah, or he got a whole term under his belt.
No, not
he's got
anymore.
a whole campaign under a couple of them. Like,
Yeah.
that's out the window. There's no more of this. He's an outsider. Nah,
Well, because going into the campaign, or
because you can tell by the decisions that's not being made.
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
he's saying things that's like, whoa, shit, but it's actually not. Because when it's time for the action, nothing happens.
yeah, because in the first go around, looking back on it, there was still kind of the excuse, like, okay, clearly he had his entire security, his entire intelligence agencies turned against him.
Yeah.
The whole like Russia bullshit and all that nonsense. So it was like, okay, now if he gets a second turn, he's gonna have all his guys in there. It's gonna be
He's stacked.
because you want
He's stacked. He got what he wanted.
He got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
He has all of his appointees approved. He has the House. He has the Senate. He has everything they want to do. And we're right back to where we've been.
Yeah.
Like he went around, specifically on Tim Pool's podcast, he went around shitting on Biden for bombing Yemen for the same exact thing that he's bombing Yemen now.
Yeah.
And then in that group chat, the funny thing how receipts work out, in that group chat, the only person that gave any pushback was JD Vance.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, maybe we should like wait because this is against what the president's been saying. And
Yeah.
maybe we should wait a month to see what happens. And of course, Michael Walsh is like, well, do it now, do it a month from now. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter. Press the buttons.
It's just fucking, it's disappointing.
Bro, we're only a couple of months in.
I know. I know. Like, and I don't
ready.
know. I'm glad that his stance hasn't changed on Ukraine. I'm glad that the administration's stance hasn't changed on Ukraine. That's good.
That's not going to change.
But when he's talking about, we're gonna basically what they're saying is we're going to fully ethnically cleanse Gaza, turn it into the Riviera.
That's bullshit right there, bro.
Stop it.
But I've come to learn, don't just when you hear that, don't be everybody, it's not going to happen.
Well, and I agree because
it's just like everything else. It's a sensational thing to say to get everyone riled up. But where's you can't do that.
And that's turning for the better, I think, because right when they said all that stuff, everyone, even some Republicans freaked out and they like backed off, didn't touch it, haven't said a word about it yet.
Yeah.
Do I love that Netanyahu's going to the White House still? No.
Nah,
but
bro.
That's to be expected. Unfortunately, that is to be expected, and I don't like it at all. Anyway, it's just my point in bringing all this up is that while I did not agree with most of what was his name, your buddy that was on the phone.
Guy.
Shout
out to Guy Harris.
Yeah, Guy Harris. I don't agree with most of what he had to say. It was mostly a decent dialogue. Do I wish that I was in person? Yes, but it worked out the way.
Me too. I always like the in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, the in person's better.
Yes.
Because you don't know what the other person's doing on the phone, bro.
He could have been sitting butt naked on his couch.
Not even that. He could have been plugged into the Matrix, bro. We don't know shit. Like, he was just talking. He could have been really, like, 5 screening us, bro. Like, yeah.
It didn't seem like it, but it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Anyway, how's your life going? How's the family doing?
Man, you are the first person to ask me this outside of my close circle.
Oh, well.
Before I answer the question, it's because I think people, they don't view me. I don't know how people view me. I don't think they view me as just a person. You know what I mean? Nobody asks me personable questions.
Okay.
That's weird to me. And, 'cause it's weird to me because I'm an open book. If you ask me something, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to offer up shit.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the standoffish thing that people always, you're intimidating and all that. And I don't think so. So I appreciate that question.
Yeah, of course.
The family is great, man. My sister's getting married this summer. I'm gonna walk her down the aisle. She's getting married in July. Can't wait for that. My girls are going to be in it. They're going to be flower girls. I actually, this is something I haven't told anybody. I just got a new house.
Hey, congratulations.
Beginning of the year.
A lot of changes.
Got a new car.
Good for you.
Like, it's been a lot of positive things that I've been sitting on.
Good.
And it's just because, I don't know, that's just my, if you don't ask me, I don't tell you shit.
Yeah.
You're one of the few people. If I see a text from Noah's asking me something.
I try not to waste time.
And he gets right. He's like, yo, what's up with this? And I laugh because I'm like, hey, you know what? Outside of Six and Larry, you're the only person who asks me things. Outside of I could ask comedy stuff, but it's more, I think we got to get out of the mode of you're the podcaster, you're the comedian. You're way more complex than that.
I try to be.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like that. I like that about you. You asking me. So yeah, the family's great, man. As you know, I have a very small family. When I consider family, are my girls, my sister, my nephews, Six, Larry. That's my family. I don't have a mom, a dad, none of that other stuff. So when you ask about my family, those are the people I'm talking about.
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Because you've got, how old is Tasia now?
Oh, man, 7.
Damn.
I don't even want to say it with my big boy voice. I got to whisper it. 7. Yeah, she's 7, man. And to have that big gap, a 14-year gap between children, it's good because it's like, hey, I'm doing this. But it's bad when it comes to trying to date, bro. Trying to date at my age. Women my age don't want to deal with children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wait, really? That's kind of surprising.
No.
That's kind of surprising.
Because most of the ladies my age, 40 and up, their kids are the age of my oldest daughter.
Right. They're already out of the house.
They're
out of the raising kids age. I'm in the, hey.
Yeah. And so.
Maybe you got to stay out of those fucking "Am I dating the same guy" pages. Maybe you got to stay out of there.
Nah, that's entertainment, bro. Like, you know what? I've never been I don't date. I've never been, like, though, the ladies in there who we had on the podcast, they hate me.
Yeah.
And I know they spend every day, who does this dude fuck with? Like, can we get any dirt? And they're like, nah, you don't, nope. But no, and so then you have the younger ones, 30s, and you have some of those who still want kids, and I got a vasectomy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm in that weird space right now. I've had more ladies upset that I can't have kids.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me. Yeah. Because everyone's talking about men's health.
Well.
And taking, you take that into your own, you've heard my joke about this. You take that in your own hands. A lot of ladies don't like that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of takes the control from them.
Right. Well, and I feel like a lot, again, I'm still with the same person, so I'm not like out dating and shit. But I'd imagine just looking at the culture right now, it's kind of shifting to where we had a period from maybe like 20. Now, granted, you still have the hyper liberal areas where they're like boycotting men and like abortion off to the ninth month. You got those psychos, like that's fine. They'll always be there. And just like you have the things on the far right where they're like, women need to be controlled and tamed, and you have those people, those extremes. But I feel like in the middle, that like 80%, you had from like 2015 to maybe 2023 into 24, where they were mostly like career oriented. I'm doing my thing, but I'm slowly seeing this like change where like traditional is kind of coming back. I want to have kids. I want to raise a household. I want to, and personally, I think it's a net positive.
Yeah.
Personally, if women want to go out and have a career and be business oriented, that's great. Phenomenal. Live your life. I'm extremely libertarian in that way. Like personal self-determination. Do your thing.
Yeah.
But I am seeing a bit of a shift where a lot of women are like, I kind of want to have kids. I want to have a family. I want to raise a household. And maybe that's a product.
They want to do it with a dude?
Right.
Sounds great. It's like, I want to do this, but is a dude involved? Because
I think so. It's fun to talk shit, but I think so. But I wonder also, now that I'm saying this out loud, I wonder if it's the same people from that era I just described,
Yeah.
they grew up a bit.
Well, hold on, man.
I wonder,
Hold
if,
up.
I wonder if it's that.
I got to put my little podcast hat on. What about you? Where are you at? What are you about when it comes to having a family and
I love
you and your significant other?
Yeah,
is this a conversation you've had?
No.
How long you guys been together?
There's been ups and downs, but I'll just say 5 years, a little over 5 and a half.
5 years in New Mexico, and that hasn't come up?
No.
Bro, I need to shake your hand.
Well, I mean, it's come up in the way of like, we're not ready for it.
That's why I said I need to shake your hand. I didn't automatically think that it was the other way. That's exactly what I thought.
Oh, no,
of.
it's been an agreed upon thing that like, it's not feasible because we're both very,
wow.
No, we're both very like, we're not money oriented, but we have common sense.
Yeah,
and because like for me, I'm trying to be a lot better about budgeting over the last year or so. I'm doing my best.
Bro,
with
how
it.
old are you?
I'm 20. I'm gonna turn.
Fuck!
20.
I needed to meet you in my 20s because I was. The day I woke up was the day I had my daughter, bro. I was like, "Fuck! What the hell? What am I doing?" Like for real. Yeah. I commend you, man, because especially in these times, man, it's so easy to. Especially when you're with someone for that long and that's just the natural progression. It's not even a thought about thing. It's not a planned thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, we're bringing a child into this world.
Yeah.
I commend you, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
And that's something, I'm trying to teach my oldest daughter, and I will teach my youngest, because my oldest daughter will be 22. And, she has friends who have kids and,
yeah.
It's like, oh, and she's very goal orientated.
Yeah.
And she just about herself. She's fun. She's self-centered.
Yeah.
You can't be that way. And you're like, here's a child.
That's how I am too.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people be like, oh, that's selfish. Nah, that's knowing what the hell you are and what you're about.
Well, because I don't know, because
that's all the shit I didn't have when I was
Right.
20. Even though I was the last person that I knew to have a child, I was 25.
Oh wow, that's young though.
It's young, but it's so crazy. Back then, it was so many people, 17, 16, 18, 20, 21.
Why do you think that is?
Not because people make the whole notion of having a child make it seem so easy, so frivolous. So, hey, we're having a kid. Whoa. It's like, it's not. The real things about having a child is not talked about.
Is that?
It's sensationalized. It's more, a lot of people feel like this. I'm an adult when I have a kid. No, fuck no.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're a kid who had a kid.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to do with your age at all, bro. Like, and,
Well,
then you got to look at how people were raised too. If they were raised right, wasn't raised at all. Like,
well, that's what I was going to ask. So I think it's multifaceted. So you said it was very like, oh, we're gonna have a kid. Do you think that is, well, first of all, do you think that is the reality, or is that just kind of like a way to blow it off in public when you speak about it? A, and then B, I think that when you do have a kid, whether it's planned or otherwise, in my opinion, I think it is dependent on the person of whether or not that makes you an adult. Because if you accept responsibility properly, because we don't really have like, in America anyway, like Western culture,
right,
in general, we don't really have for men. For women, you become a woman. Really depends on who you ask, but generally, it's you become a woman when you lose your virginity or have a kid. That's when you become a woman. But for men, we don't really have that. So
some people still, when you have your cycle,
right?
Some people are still on that,
right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, when you start having periods, exactly. Yeah. But in my opinion, like for men, we don't really have that. Is it like when you get your first job? Is it signing up? Is it signing up for the military? Is it going to war? Is it? And then for a lot of people, it's like, well, when you have a kid. But in my opinion, it's
not even then,
right? But I think it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's when you are able to when you're able to accept responsibility for the majority of your life. When you accept a responsibility that's higher than you.
You know what
I think
it was?
That's when you start to become a man.
When I became a man is when I knew there was more important things than myself.
Well, exactly.
And that was a hard fucking pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because I was used to doing what I want, being whatever, buying whatever, doing whatever, fucking off. And when you have a child, it's like, damn, I got to put that first.
Yeah.
Even now, like, it affected my comedy career because I quit my job at the state. I worked for 10 years. New Mexico Medicaid.
The Medicaid stuff, right?
Yeah. I quit during the pandemic. I was like, man, this is bullshit. Like, I can do this in my sleep, and I'm going to go all the way in with the comedy. That was a hard thing to do when you have a child, a small child. Yeah. 3 years old, 3, 4, 5, those years, 6.
What rationalized that for you? Where it's like, yeah, I can do this and still sleep at night.
Knowing that she was not just taken care of, that she loved me.
Nice.
When you do things or don't do things and that affects the love that you get from your child, oh man, that's when it's a problem. Because we're going to beat ourselves up all day, every day. I beat myself up as a dad today. A lot of people, oh, you're a great dad. No, I don't think so. Still a lot of work to do. Especially when you're a dad that's not in the home. That's a tricky thing, bro. Like, when you're a dad that's not in the home, that fucks up your mental. You could be doing everything right that you think, but it's still going to mess you up. So going from that.
Well, let's stay on that for a second. So,
yeah.
So there's obvious reasons why that would be the case. Like, you're not around as much as you'd like to be.
Yeah.
Not providing as much as you'd like to be. Not just saying like just financially, but just physically the presence of a father. But is it missing out on things? Is it, I don't get like too into it, but is it like
everything?
The child's mother is having another guy? Like,
no. It has nothing to do with the mother.
Okay.
It's you and the relationship with your child. It doesn't matter. You can go to the schools. You can know the teachers. You can pick her up from school, take her to school. You can pick. It's not the same when you're not in the house, bro, because it's just little things. Just coming to sit on your lap, giving you a hug. That works on you, bro. When you're a father and it's like, man, you're in your head. You're like, am I doing enough? Is she going to know who I really am? Because you don't want to become just the fun person who you just go over and you just have fun and it's just go back to your real life, because that's not parenting.
No.
That works against parenting.
That's a vacation.
Yeah. And so it's like, am I instilling values in my child with the time that I do spend? See what I mean? Like, yep. It's a lot of things, bro. It has nothing to do with the money and all that. It's the time spent and what's really sticking with your child. Like, especially for me, bro, like, I'm a black man. Her mother is Hispanic. Is she getting enough of this side of her culture? You know, it's that type of shit. You know, I remember the first time Tasha comes to me and she goes, Daddy, I'm brown like you. And we're not like mommy. And, you know, that for her to recognize that's a good thing. But then you also have to go deeper and be like, well, you're both. You know what I mean? And it's just that type of stuff. Especially.
How do you explain that to
a
kid?
You actually, the explanation doesn't work. You got to let them go through it. So my daughter goes to a school where Spanish is like, I think 65%. And, you know, she comes to me. Here's the thing as a parent, what you have to do. Keep the communication with your child open, because they're going to tell you everything.
Yeah.
Daddy, they say my hair is different than theirs. And, you know, you have to have that talk. You have to not build a complex with her, with your child, whatever it is, whatever the difference is, your child and the majority, you have to tell them it's unique, it's special, and you're different, and in a good way. And what you do, and the way that you know you're doing it right, is what she picks to play, what they pick to play with, their depiction of themselves. Like, okay, so at my house, I let her pick out her bedspread. She picks the bedspread with, it's a girl with curly hair who has headphones on. And I said, why'd you pick that? And it had nothing. She goes, she has hair like me and I like music. Boom.
Right.
That lets me know things are working out the right way. Because you don't want your child to learn negative things about themselves at school outside of the home. Because they spend a lot of the time outside of the home at school.
Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do. And that goes back to when you're not in the home, especially if you're from a different background, ethnicity, culture. It's like, fuck, is my daughter getting enough of this? So this was the first time I had to go through this because my first daughter's full black. You know what I mean? So
you clearly think about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You really, in your own words, you let it beat yourself up a little bit. How can you, I guess my question would be.
Oh, I got a good answer for this.
Like recognizing that you go through all of this.
Yeah.
Why do you still feel that you're falling short?
Because it's never enough. It's never enough. You'll never, because I'll tell you why. Your child is always growing and evolving. You have to do the same thing as a parent. You cannot sit back and be like, look what I did. I'm good. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. No. And what helped me, real shit, therapy. Therapy. Because it was a lot of the misgivings that I had as a child that I held on to as a young adult, as an adult. And it was things that I had to deal with first. And it made me better, not just as a parent, but just as a man within itself. I was the person who self-sabotaged relationships, all of this shit, because I didn't know how to receive love.
How do you define self-sabotage?
Oh, shit. How much time we got? I would do stupid stuff like, I would get in my own head if like, I know what love feels like. And if I felt it, I would question it. I would be like, how in the fuck can this person love me? And my own mother didn't. You know what I mean?
I do.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so it's like, I rejected it subconsciously and consciously. And so until I got help with that shit, and it helped me also in my parenting. Because you got to understand, I'm here in Albuquerque in New Mexico. I have no family here. All of her mother's side of the family is here. I would do stuff like this when my child was younger. I would be like, well, why would she want to come spend the holidays with me? It's just me. I'm not doing nothing special. She needs to be with her family where the love is. And I thought that was the right thing to do. False. Also, she needs to see me and her, that side of the family, both come together and show that love. See what I'm saying? So that was some shit I had to learn, bro. That was part of my self-sabotage.
Was it
subconsciously?
Was it a matter of like a lack of perspective because growing up you didn't see your parents that way, and so then you had to maybe, because the way I see that is like you're looking at that from your point of view, but from her point of view, you're her dad. Like, yeah, you're the guy.
Yeah, but I also looked at it as me as a child. Which one would I want to be at? Right. You want to be with your cousins and your big family, or you just want to be with your dad and you just chill? Look, the crazy thing about this is I am a public figure, but I am very fucking private. Very. Even though it's crazy, I can talk about all of this stuff unless you ask me. I'm not offering up shit. And so there's a lot of people who know Buck D, but they don't know Robert Gibson, and I do that on purpose. Yeah. See what I mean? Yeah. It's a defense thing. But I had to learn to.
That's not unhealthy. That's not unhealthy.
No.
That's probably for the best.
No, fuck yes.
That's for the best.
I was telling Cardo. So the last podcast I did,
I listened to it. It was good.
So Cardo, we were having scheduling issues, and he doesn't have a set spot to do it. So I was like, man, just come to my house and do it. Yeah. And so I was like, hey, nobody. I think you're the first person in the whole comedy that's ever been to my house, bro. Like, he was like, for real? I was like, Cardo, you know I don't fuck with nobody, bro.
You're not exactly having after party.
Yeah. Everybody didn't come to my house after Zach got shot, bro. Like, it wasn't that.
Yeah, apparently they stayed in his apartment. Yeah, apparently.
But no, I do that on purpose, man. I do it on purpose, not just for comedy, but all the other shit that I do, man. Like, it's some fucking weirdos out here.
Yeah.
It is some weirdos. Like, I have a vanity plate. and I get Snapchats all day long of my license plate. And I'm like,
Right.
why do y'all do that? It's what? And it's like, damn, bro, like somebody
behind you. And they
yeah.
well, don't hit me, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? Like, I don't know. I've always been like that, though, even as a child. So I'll tell you where that came from. Let me tell you exactly where this came from. So I was the kid who was very popular, had a lot of friends. I'm always at your house, but you're never at my shit. You drop me off, you don't come in. I always had a story. I played sports. Nobody from my family came. Your folks loved me. But the thing was, nobody ever questioned. As I got older, I was like, they knew. They just didn't want to talk to me about it. I always had a lie. I had a lie in the tuck when it came to anything. So that kind of morphed into how I am as a adult. Real shit.
It's funny you say that because I grew up the same way, but turned into the opposite. Then it became very, I hate using like super popular terms, but it became very people pleasing. It became very like, yeah, come over.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I want to do that. I want to do this.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. It turned into that, and I've been thinking about that a lot recently. It's like, why did I act that way as a kid, or why did I this? Why did I that? Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm even now, like, I'll go to your party, but I ain't having one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no. Like, was that 6? Someone asked me, oh, you gonna have barbecues over here? I was like, yeah, myself and you. Nobody's coming over here, bro.
You're
like,
touching my fucking steak.
yeah, like, no, I've always been like that though. But yeah, but and I'm big on this, man. I'm big on guys getting that help, bro, because if you don't, we are some stubborn ass dudes, bro. And it has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with age. Age does make it worse. Because the further you go along, the harder
You're
it is.
You're repeating a habit.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's just piling and piling and piling.
Yeah.
But fellas, it's okay. Go get that help, man. And don't even look at it as help.
It's a tool.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
Is that because I went to a form of counseling before I deployed because I'd never done it before. Mm-hmm. I was really in a bad spot before I deployed.
How old were you?
I was 20.
Damn, bro, you were way advanced than me.
How? No, I'm sorry. I take that back. So I went to counseling for the first time before basic training. So
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was.
See, if I would have done that, I wouldn't have went.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're right. I'm stupid.
I was gonna, because I had a very early engagement in life fall apart, and then I was loopy in the head for
Dang,
sure.
bro, you've been an old man for a long time, bro. You know what? I didn't have an official girlfriend until 24.
Jeez. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not my stupid ass.
Hell no. I didn't want. So you were the guy in the military that had you had a fiance in the military?
I had a fiance before I even joined. Yeah.
Damn, bro, you was old as hell.
Yeah, I was 18, I was 2018 when I went for the first time. So at that point, I'm 21. I'm 21. Oh, yeah. And it didn't really do a whole lot for me. I was like, this is kind of a waste of time, whatever. And then my first real version of that was when I was overseas. Yeah. So at that point, I was 23. And I kind of just went with it. And then, well, it was funny. I'm trying to figure out how to write it into a bit because it's so clearly there. But the reason I stopped seeing my last shrink was years ago, probably like 3-ish years ago, was because a motherfucker fell asleep on me during the session. And
wait. The therapist did?
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
No way.
No, I'm dead serious. No,
how'd you know? Did he snore?
I watched him. Because I watched him. Yeah, dude.
Oh, you got to use that.
Yeah.
So that's something right there.
Because long story short of what happened was I saw the guy for like maybe 7 or 8 months, and towards the end of it, I was like, I'm kind of feel like what I was going through at the time, I figured most of it out.
Yeah.
And now the last like 3 or 4 sessions, I went like every 2 weeks, I think. It just came to the point where I felt like I was complaining. And so the session before he fell asleep, I straight up told, like halfway through, I was like, hey, I got to be honest with you. I feel like I'm complaining right now. Like, I don't really have a whole lot I want to talk about. Not because I'm bottling it up just because like you've given me a lot of tools, a lot of help. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this is really just a bitch session, and that's not my personality, and I just don't really feel like I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Well, maybe that's what you needed to do, though.
But it felt useless. Like it felt tiring.
Yeah,
just like being, because it can be tiring on the other end where you're just getting all that out.
Yeah.
But it's tiring on the other end where I remember I felt like I was coming up with reasons to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
You know, I was like, hey, you know, this is how I feel. And his answer was, well, how do you feel about complaining? I'm like, no. Okay, so now, because I've been thinking of, like I said,
that wasn't. Wait a minute. So did you shop around for him, or did you just go with him?
No, I did shop around until I found.
Because that's important.
Yeah, I shopped around because because I had a few recommendations, and the reason why I chose that guy because it was both the experience and the tenure he had in the field, and then it was based in my religion. So I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense for me, and I was like, okay, but then. I've been thinking it for a while, but after that response, it quickly changed. Like my suspicions got confirmed, or this was quickly changing from something that was helping my life to a subscription service.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. So I was like, you know what? Fine. We finished the session and I fucking left. And I was like, I'm going to do one more.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do one more and see how I feel and we'll go from there. Well, that one more. So 20 minutes into it,
that was my next question. How long was that?
Yeah. So 20 minutes into it, he's doing, because he was like an older guy. He was like 65.
Yeah.
Older guy, wore sweaters.
Yeah.
Like room was warm. Like the air was like blankets, you know, like super, whatever. So I'm sitting there and he's doing this number where he's like,
oh yeah, he was nodding out.
But he caught himself. He wakes up. I don't acknowledge it. I act like I didn't see it.
Fuck, you better than me because I would have been like, bro, what the fuck?
He's like red in the face, drinking water. I don't want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I wanted to talk shit, but I'm not going to be a dick. Anyway, so it gets us ahead. 5 or 7 minutes later, it's just.
How long had you been seeing him?
7, 8 months at that point.
Oh hell no! Y'all knew each other. You should have went in, bro.
Yeah. So he goes, and he just clocks out.
Yeah.
I'm talking like that.
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there for maybe like 10, 15 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? And so I'm sitting in the chair and I'm like, long night, huh?
Yeah.
Nothing.
He was out.
No movement.
He was out.
So I sit there for like literally like a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, long night, huh? And he goes, yeah, so I'm so sorry. But I'm like, hey, man, don't even worry about it. Don't. It's fine. You know, like I told you last week, I'm really feeling this. This kind of confirmed it. Thanks, man. Fucking sayonara. So I just get up and left. And there was like, we were maybe like 25 minutes into it. And go to the front desk lady. They're very nice. Like, oh, you're done early?
No, he's done.
Yeah. Would you like to reschedule for him? I'm like, no, thank you. I appreciate you though. Have a great night. Just split. Because my whole thing about therapy is like, again, like I was saying earlier about our other subject, it applies to people differently. Like, I know people in my family that will go to therapy continuously so that when the big things happen, that person already has a relationship with that therapist or the psychologist, whatever. Like, so it's like a continued thing. And then for me, clearly, it was like a when things happen, maybe do it, maybe not, whatever.
How often were you going?
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, see, I started every week. Now it's just once a month.
Okay. Yeah. And does that work for you?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect.
You found the sweet spot.
Yeah. Perfect.
And because for me, I don't know, man, and maybe like this is, I've told to some people, and like, yeah, that's kind of toxic. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And the conversation stopped there.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I think as men, personally, like if you have real shit going on, like you were saying, if there's like things going on, like real mental illness or things that are dragging you down or things that just like you're not fixing that you know you should probably fix, go do it. Like it helps.
Yeah,
it genuinely helps.
If everything is everybody else,
yeah, it's you. The common denominator is you, you know? But on the other hand, there is still a part of me where I'm like, hey, life is hard, bud. Get over it. Mm-hmm. Accept what is hard.
Yeah.
Do what you can to fix it.
That's called being a man, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
We always going to have that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so how I view therapy is that's never going to go away.
Yeah.
That's never going to go away. But for me, it was two things: self-reflection and self-improvement. Because on the real, I was questioning, why am I not succeeding at certain things? And it was because I was putting a ceiling on myself based on things I didn't face or rectify from the past. That was it, because I always was like, oh, well, it's because of this, or it's like, no, like you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Like, so until I dealt with that and got all of that negativity out of the way, it's been up ever since. Been up. And I think, a lot of dudes will benefit from it, man. And I'm not one of these people that say it's not for everybody, because it is. You just got to do it your way.
Yeah.
You gotta find and do it your way.
Here's I guess here's an easier way to put it. It's a tool, it's not a crutch.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Yeah. That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, because like to go back to our original, like the original subject that came up, like for me with having kids, because I know right now, I know where I'm at. Like I'm very focused on stand up. I'm very focused on my professional. Well, I'm not like focused. I'm doing. If the bar to succeeding in my professional career is here, I'm like here. Because at the end of the day, because I want to do well at this job so I don't get fired, A. And B, I have a promotion coming up pretty soon, hopefully. And I want to make sure I get that so I have more money to keep doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm focused on all of that. And because of that, I think back, because I think a lot of growing up, and I'm experiencing this right now, a lot of growing up, at least as a guy, is regardless of what your relationship with your father is, you grow up most of your life not I don't know how there's a lot of negativity that maybe of varying degrees that shouldn't be there on your father, and then as you become a man, like an adult, it's like you see less of your father as a father and you see him as a human. And that is
because you start experiencing the same shit he experienced.
Exactly. And you start to figure out, like, you're not justifying any bad things that various people have done. I'm certainly not justifying anything my father did to me.
Yeah.
But you start to maybe see the breadcrumb trails that led to these events happening. It's like, okay, well, how do I avoid all of that? And I know that if I have a kid right now, as much as I would go against it, my proclivities would lead me to be not abusive like my father, but not as invested.
Yeah.
And I don't want to repeat that.
And
then on the other side of that coin, I'm like, okay, well, if and when the time comes for me to have a kid, I want to do everything pretty much the exact opposite that my dad did.
Yeah.
And because at least that I know, because I like the idea of being a dad. I like the idea of having a kid, but I also know that A, I don't have the money for it. B, I don't have the drive for it. And C, I just don't have the interest in it.
Yeah.
So you add a kid to my life, that kid better be super fucking successful, because I'm going to be a dick. Like, I'm not going to be a good dad right now.
Yeah.
And because because I know where it's in me, where I'm like, if I have a kid right now, I will be pretty much, at least for the very beginning years of that kid's life, be required to drop everything I'm doing to make sure that, because I want that kid to succeed.
Yes.
So then
everything is invested in the child.
Exactly. But then the other side of that is because I know how my brain works. I just know how I am as a person. There will be a part of me that will not like that kid because they got in the way of what I wanted to do. And that kid doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
They did nothing to earn that.
Yeah. And you know, you're having honest discussions and thoughts that most people lie about. And they try to force it because it sounds good. I would love, like, I would. If I had, if I got her pregnant, well, we would have a kid, and it would be the best, and I would be the best. No, people, you know, it's so crazy because we always hear about. This is going to be, oh man, I don't think ladies like when I talk about this, but we always hear about postpartum with ladies. You never hear about what guys go through. What's the thought process? What's the terrifying thoughts?
Right.
What's the shortcomings? And nobody talks about that, and you are talking about this before. Usually this is stuff that happens after, because it's like, oh shit. Because I'm going to be real with you. And fathers out there, tell me if I'm wrong. the child isn't real to us until it's seen.
That's a male thing.
That baby, we can go to all of the grams of sun. Yeah. That baby looks like a hurricane. That baby looks like a weather system. That baby looks and the baby got a name, and you're just like, yeah, because we're doing that because we have to. Because in our heads, we be like, why do you, ladies, let me be honest, why do you think we can still have sex with you when you're pregnant? Because that ain't, if we really thought that baby was real, we wouldn't touch you. We don't care. We're like, whatever, that's not real. Whatever. You just more to feel on. Like, it just got more juices and stuff. When that baby comes out is when it's real. There's no preparation. No, dude, and ladies, I don't care if you have the best man, whatever. What I'm telling you is the truth. That child is not real to the man until the baby comes out. That's why if you ever look at a dude when the baby's born, the look is just like, what the fuck? Like, even though you've had 9 months, you done bought all this shit and the name and the baby shower. See, the women are connected to that child, bro. They know it's real because they feel it. It's growing inside of them. Us, that ain't no, man. Then it comes, and you're like, fuck. Like, that's the truth.
Yeah, and I want to avoid that feeling as much. And I'm not expecting there to be a switch that is flipped.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm ready to be a dad. And I know that's never going to happen. I know, I not for a fact, but I have a pretty great estimation.
I wish I would have had your thought process.
I know that's never going to happen. But I also understand that right now, I am nowhere near as posed as possible to successfully raise a child.
Right.
I'm just not there, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, because I have a few friends that are either they have kids right now or they're planning on it.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy for them.
Yeah.
And
what's the changes that you've seen? Are they the same people?
They're better versions of themselves, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm happy that the friends that I've kept for a long time didn't.
You know why they are that way? Because they planned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
People I know, and it just happened. It's just like, shit.
Well, I would even one of my best friends who has a kid right now that was unplanned.
But how long was he with the woman?
Literally a Tinder hookup.
Oh, shit.
No, literally, yeah.
Oh,
literally.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, literally. He is one of, if not my best friend.
Yo.
Like he is.
Not first hookup.
Yeah,
but.
yeah, literally first hookup. No, dead. I'm just not a bit. This is not a bit. Literally dead fucking honest. Yeah.
I would have loved to see his face when he got that call or text.
I remember getting the call from him saying, "Hey, blank is pregnant."
Yeah.
And my first question was, "Who is blank?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right," because he just lived in New Mexico. He had to move.
Did he call her Tinder girl?
No. When he fucked her, he did. Yeah, it's like, dude, I thought we were fucking hopping on. I thought we were hopping on the game tonight. What's up? Like, that was with Tinder girl. But anyway, but I will say that him having a dad or him becoming a dad,
bro,
made him a better person, which I'm very thankful.
Yeah,
very thankful.
It changes you, bro. Like, it changes you for the good or the worse. Real talk.
Yeah,
real talk.
Yeah,
like some people are just like, the selfishness doesn't go away. Or the person that they made the kid with, they just not fucking with them. And so they're like, whatever is a part of you, I'm not a part of.
I wonder, this is not a solidified fact, but this is a theory that I have. Major things in life, like becoming very successful, getting a lot of money, having a kid, just these extreme life-altering things.
Yeah.
I kind of akin that to the super soldier serum that Captain America got, where I remember
it just enhances who the hell you already are.
Exactly. If you're because the doctor tells him in that movie, he goes, not a perfect soldier, a good man.
Yeah.
So I wonder if just enhances who you already are.
Yeah.
It brings out the majority of you.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the majority of you is not even just a bad person, but just you're not how do I put this? You're not I mean, there definitely are bad people that get successful and rich, or people that are horrible that have kids. But like you're the average guy, that's maybe 60% negative and 40% positive. Well, that majority gets enhanced. I don't know what the word is for that, but that majority gets enhanced.
Yeah.
That'll happen to you with those things. And I like to view myself as a mostly good person, but I just know where my brain is at. I don't think that makes me a bad person. I think this makes me a realist, where I'm like, I just know that where I'm at right now won't be a good dad. Now, could that change in a few years? Maybe.
See, people don't think that because birth and having a child and being a parent has been sensationalized for so long, bro. If you let people tell it, there's no such thing. They're the greatest parents. You won't hear parents talk the way I talk. Like, I'm a great mother. I'm a great, no. Still, it's, the jury's still out, bro. Like, you can't, it sounds great, but I'm a realist when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen too many people. I'm a product of it. I'm sitting here looking at people. Oh, you guys are doing a great job with Rob. Like, bro, no, the fuck they're not, bro. Y'all, you don't know what's going on behind here. You know what I mean? So, oh, he has such manners, and he's well spoken, and he's smart, and he's funny, and all this. And I'm like, that is all shit I had to come up with to help defend the shit that I have to deal with in the household. See what I mean? So,
well, I wonder how much of that too. So, like, I remember I got told this as a very little kid. One of my cousins, when I was younger. I don't know how. I hope he's okay now, but I've heard he's okay. But when I was a little kid, one of my cousins was very heavily involved in gang culture and all that stuff. And I don't remember what prompted it, but I had said something, and he goes, "People that talk about it aren't really about it normally." And I remember, and that was at like 6 years old. And that's really stuck with me since, I mean, today.
Anything.
And so, applying that logic to what you just brought up, I wonder how much of that is a mask. Because also, where you said having a kid is being sensationalized, and it's starting to kind of wean off a little bit, but there is still a lot of people that demonize having a kid, too. That also exists.
Here's the thing. I see it. You get pats on the back for doing what you're supposed to do as a parent. I hate that shit, bro. Like, look at me. I'm doing this. You're supposed to. That is your child.
I don't think above and beyond exists for a kid.
No, it doesn't. I
don't think it exists.
And it's just stuff that I deal with. Like, if you post your child on social media as a father, you're a social media dad. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I do it because I like it. She likes it. I don't have family here. They like it.
But it's also, I want to add too, though, it's also you. Like, you are a social media person.
Thank you.
Now,
that's me.
If you had somebody who never posts on social media, and I'm not saying it's a negative or bad thing, it just is an aspect.
Right.
It's just like the general color palette of clothing you wear, the music you listen to, the movies you like. It's just a part of today. It is just are you a social media person or are you not? And you are a social media person. So then it is just natural that when you feel comfortable doing it, your kid is on your social media.
It's going to be this is going to be funny. Boom. Put it up there.
Wait, not even the funny stuff. Like you posted a couple days ago about asking Easter stuff for your kid.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah. And so it's just, I don't know, man. You have a great outlook on it. I think that needs to be taught in high school. No, elementary school. Because, man, it's not real to a lot of people until it's too late. And a lot of people also think a child will change their financial status. They feel that way too.
That makes zero sense to me.
I've seen it.
How?
I've seen it.
Let's play devil's advocate.
I've seen it.
Because since you're obviously the father in the room, try justifying that.
Not as a father. Hell no. No, sir.
See? My point exactly. My point exactly.
No. And that played a major factor in the reason why I got a vasectomy. Like it did. It did. I was like, yo, I ain't doing this shit no fucking more.
These tax breaks ain't worth it.
Fuck. Shit, I don't get to see him. Hell. You have, when you're living where we live, and you're a man, you're a black man, you run into stupidity. You run into shit where women want mixed kids, and it's like a trophy. It's like a fetish.
I was going to say, do you feel like it's fetishized?
Oh, fuck yeah. You know, the day that I said I'm getting a vasectomy, during the pandemic, right? I was getting hit on. There was nothing to do. So women were really shooting a shot. Your daughters are beautiful. Your daughters are gorgeous. You make beautiful little girls. And I wish if I had a little girl, it would be by you. And I was getting said shit like,
Robert Gibson, are you being objectified?
And I'm like,
is a man being objectified?
Oh, and
that doesn't exist.
I was like, nah, let me go ahead and do this because I'm not leaving it up to somebody else. Yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't care what you say you don't have or what you're doing. I know it's not coming down the pipeline. It's not happening. I'm telling you, bro, like,
I'm not going to burn your material, but your joke about the vasectomy is one of my favorites.
Bro, and I the reason why I tell is because I still am tweaking that shit, bro. That shit, it's so relevant. It's so relevant because it's like an educational thing, but it's also funny as shit. Like, and it's not something that ladies in the crowd think they would hear from me. You know what I mean? Like,
why is that?
Because I go into birth control and how it fucks them up. And, you know, I had a firsthand account of that, not just with relationships, but my sister. My sister went through a lot of crazy shit with birth control. And I'm like, why don't the dude just have him get, it can be reversed. And, you know, dudes, man, shit, I ain't getting my dick cut.
Yeah, but like the reversal rates, they kind of, because when you get it reversed, it really, understandably so, it fucks with the fertility. I think it's like 40% of dudes that still get that reversed have to do IVF because of what's going on. Like, I used to be super pro female birth control, super duper, until I met the girl I'm with right now, and she explained why she never got on it because she had friends that went on it, and she did a bunch of, like, just went down rabbit holes, and I went
because we don't know. I'm telling you, like, I was the same way until I saw it firsthand, and I'm like, yo. I can't do this. Let me put this in me. Let me get the shot. Let me get the patch. Let me put the ring. I'm like, yo. Yeah. And every one of them just, no. But I saw, and I was like, nah, bro. And it was some upset women. I talked about it like during the pandemic when I would go live or whatever before the podcast. I talked about it, and I was like, y'all ain't shit. Y'all talk all this stuff about men's health and all this stuff, but when a dude really takes control of it, you don't like it. You don't like it because it takes you out of the equation.
Well, I think there's a, how I put this, it's like when you start, because it's almost to the point where, because if these people that are complaining about it, if they weren't already clearly going against basic biological needs, then how do I put this? Okay, so they're mad at you for getting a vasectomy. I get why they're doing it. I get why they're upset because they are biologically tuned to have children. I understand that.
Right.
But the societal thing is my body, my choice.
But that don't go for us.
And then when you drop down to men doing it, it's like, what the fuck are we actually talking about here?
Yeah.
And it's like I understand it, but then you have to drop the my body, my choice thing because you're stopping the biological process. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
That's the mental train I was trying to. So you have to stop it right here because if you're on the same sheet of music, then you can keep playing the rest of the song to men. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I'm not on it. Why are you on it, motherfucker? Okay, we'll find a different guy. Clearly, in your case, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
But then if you're already dancing to this song, you can't be mad at, Party B for doing the same thing too.
Right.
That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
But, then you get the accountability issues and all of that, and that's a whole other fucking can of worms. So, but glad the family's doing well.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. No, seriously, I appreciate that question. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever gotten that question asked seriously outside of my circle or publicly.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, man.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great.
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of positive life changes, it seems like.
I sit back and observe things, bro. I just, you know me. I sit back in my little... I'm like, look at this. wow, look at this. And I do it with the positive too. I love to see the progression of the things that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Not just comedy wise, just everybody. You know what I mean? Like you were talking about AJ.
Yeah.
We were at I'm not even gonna call it a vigil or whatever for K Shane. And I didn't tell him because I didn't know what headspace he was in. He did a damn good job. He did because, you know, he kind of it wasn't a hosting thing. He was on the mic.
Oh, he went.
Yeah. Well, AJ Matthews.
AJ Matthews.
AJ was, you know, they did it at Bourbon and Boots, and you know the way that he did that. That's the way I would have done it. He did it where it wasn't sad. It was like, hey, man, that was my friend, and I know he would want to laugh and he would want to have a good time, so that's what we're going to do. That was dope. Now, when I first met AJ, I don't think that AJ would have done that. So to see that progression is dope. I pay attention to stuff like that. I do.
Yeah.
Outside of just flat comedy, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. No,
just to see the comfortability, the confidence. I've seen a few people that I've told. Even I didn't tell AJ because of the situation. It was, you know, that was really touchy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you who I was on a show with, and I had to tell her. I was like, "Yo, okay, I see you." And it's not about the funny; it's about the confidence. And it was Carla.
I was just about to say that.
It was Carla. We were, you know, I headlined the casino in Farmington, Sunray, and it was her and Jake that was on it as well. And I was watching. I put my back to the wall, and I was like, "Okay, Carla, that's the fuck I'm talking about." And I had to tell her. I was like, "Yo, that's the confidence right there."
I hadn't seen her do stand-up in a while. It'd been more than a few months. And she went and did a set at the Block a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like crowd, like 20-ish, give or take. And that crowd's definitely that room is definitely like, because we're up in the bar now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like they really, really need, like, not need, but they want crowd work. They want the conversational. Like, they like the material if it's good enough.
Yeah, yeah. They want to feel like they're a part of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And watching her weave in and out of crowd work to material to self-referential to environmental and just all of that for about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this is a different comedy I've seen last.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah, that's what it should be about. That's what it should be about. Right there.
Yeah, it was good.
Right there. When you're doing that, you're building and you're looking back on stuff and you're like, I can't fucking believe I was that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about.
It was funny you say that because 2 nights ago, I was trying to figure out just like material I wanted to write, just things I wanted to get together, and I just decided to scroll through my old, like, because I just have a long notes page of just nonsense. And I was looking at older stuff that I had other ideas I had written down, or like the first joke that I really tried to tell at a show for A. Marie. And it was like, that joke was just this long bullshit, nonsense, whatever. Yeah. I maybe gutted it down to like 20% of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And trim that shit off. Trim the fat. Yeah.
Figuring all of that out has been a lot of fun. But yeah, seeing her do that was awesome. I guess, how has, like, because obviously you've had children for a long time. Because you raise a child, because she's what? She's at 22?
She'll be 22 June.
Okay, so 22, and now you have one that's 7. So you like you said earlier, you restarted the process 14 years in.
Yeah.
How does that affect your stand-up?
It's great, bro. It's never.
Well, I'm having a kid.
You know what?
Everything I can get.
It's so, man. It writes itself. It does, bro. Like, the little things, the stuff, like the premises that come off of real life, And it's just like, yo, this is crazy. Look at this. It's, yes, keep doing that. Do this. Or just sit and watch them. And it still goes for my oldest, too. She's going through shit, man. Her first, I got a joke. I don't think none of y'all heard it. It's when I met her boyfriend last year.
Oh,
we went to Dallas to my sister's, and we were all together. And that's the first boy friend that I've ever met. And boy, it
no,
was
like high school sweethearts, none of that.
No, fuck.
She wouldn't bring anybody home to dad.
No, you know what's so crazy? She brought a little boy home. So she lived with me through high school, from 9th grade till she graduated. She brought a boy home. Her and her best friend brought this boy home. And she was like, Dad, this is my friend, and such. And I remember I was at my desk, and I look at him, and he had a Tupac shirt on. I said, name me 3 Tupac songs right now. And he's like, and I took my hands, my fists, and I go, what the fuck? And he got scared as hell. My daughter knew what I was doing, but her friend was like, yo. I said, take it off. Take that fucking shirt off. You don't deserve to wear Tupac in this. And he was looking at me. He was like, I said, I'm just fucking with you, bro. Like, so that was the first time. And I was like, I did the whole thing. I was like, so are you her friend or you trying to fuck?
Yeah.
Like I hit him with that straight up.
How old were they at that
She was
point?
a junior.
And how old were you?
I was. So let me think. Damn, man, you took me back. She was 17 5 years ago. So I was 41?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, so you her friend like she said, or you really trying to fuck? Bro, I know what. I'm like, bro, you with 2 baddies. You with 2 baddies, bro. See, you gay or you trying to fuck? Which one is it? And he was like, no, man, I'm just a friend. He was sweating when I was fucking with him.
Was that from Bad Boys?
Bad Boys,
Where they
yeah.
have the dude with
Me
the
and
front-
Six always say we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that with Tasia, bro. Yeah. So my daughter, that whole thing. So, were you at the show where I called my daughter's phone?
Yeah, that was your special taping.
Yeah. No. So the second time I ever did that was at the special. The first time I did that was at Dry Heat.
I wasn't.
It was at Dry Heat when I don't know if I had on the gray suit. It was the gay couple was there. You wasn't that one?
No.
So the first time I ever did that, because it bugged the fuck out of me that my daughter had a phone, bro. Like, and see, this is you're not a father, you're not in the household thing. See what I'm saying?
Feel free to have more, by the way.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
So this is it goes back to our conversation. And I was like, she's too young to have a phone. Oh, it's not like that. I was like, oh. And I was like, wait a minute. I could use this. I could use it. And the first time I did it, I called her phone. I knew she was asleep. I said, I'm going to leave a voicemail. The back end of that, the weekend she comes over, she goes, Daddy, did you call my phone? And I was like, what? And she goes, I don't know. It sounds weird. And she plays it. And I'm like, I don't remember what I said. I said something, and then I said, tell your mama take me off child support. I'm a good father. Blah, blah, blah. Good night. Her mom was pissed. But her mom actually came out to see me the second time I was at Dry Heat, and she was in the crowd. And I was like, I'm going to do it again. But then I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I said, I'll save it. I did something else, but she laughed. And so it's the kid part is easy. It's the parenting part that's hard.
Yeah.
Like so how is it being in a relationship when it comes to comedy? I've done it a few times. It's not that great. It didn't go great for me because my partner's always like my circle, my realm, my whatever. They always got sucked into it. So it's never they had their own thing.
Yeah.
They was coming to that, and it was just like it turned bad.
So I'll caveat this by saying that her and I have been through some rough patches over the last few years. Yeah. Separate from comedy. Separate from stand-up. We've just been through our own rough patches, for sure. In the beginning, it wasn't bad. It was just weird.
Why?
Because she was just like, why?
They don't get it.
Yeah, she was just because she was cool with me doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, she was cool with that, but she was like, what? Okay, I mean, I guess. Like, go. Now, and granted, looking back on it, that's how she felt about the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I remember telling her, like, I'm gonna start a podcast, The Only Kings, and she's like, all right. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I just did it, and then she saw it growing, and she's like, oh, like this is,
yeah.
Because I think
that's actually good. To be honest,
yes, I agree.
That's good.
I agree.
That's a good way to begin.
Yeah, because you don't want, just like I was saying earlier, you don't want to live in an echo chamber. You don't want yes men or yes women around you.
Because they're going to hate you. They're going to hate that shit, bro.
Exactly. So with a lot with the podcast and with doing stand-up, at the beginning it was like, okay. Then it was like, oh, fuck, it's going to be a part of his life. And then as it started to gain traction, it was like, oh, he's good at this. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. That's when they become supportive. And so specifically with stand-up, it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, okay, I guess. And then I started going, her and I went to the open mic that you and A. Marie were doing. Mm-hmm. And then finally, you didn't convince, you and A. Marie both told me you're doing stand-up next week, whether you want to or not. And I was like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
And I think it was, she first saw me do it, and she was like, are you going to do that again? Because I died. I made an ass out of myself. The only person I made laugh at that mic was Steph. And I remember that very clearly.
He has a distinct laugh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that feels kind of cool. That's weird.
Yeah.
But I think it was the first show that I did ever with A-Marie, Steph, and Black Mike at 377, and I did well. Mm-hmm. Her seeing that was like, oh, shit.
Okay.
Like, he has something. He's not good, but he has something. Mm-hmm. And he's clearly going to do this for a while. And as it's evolved, there's definitely been some ups and downs with it. But her and I are entering a spot now where she understands, first and foremost, that I love her.
So she obviously has her own interests.
She does.
Outside of yours.
Yeah. She has her own life, but like she understands how much I care and love her.
Yeah.
But then she also understands that this is what I'm going to do until I either die or the wheels fall off.
Right.
However, that may or may not happen, but it's going to be a thing. And so it's
there's no. So when you say it that way,
yeah,
has it been an issue of like, hey, this is coming before us?
That definitely has come up.
There we go.
No. I was going to get to that, but like, it's never been a thing that has been detrimental.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been like, hey, this is how I feel, and it's definitely turned into arguments. But then it's always ended up like, well, okay, because we're both stubborn, and she knows I'm not quitting, and I understand she's not going to stop feeling how she's feeling. So we're finding, as I'm saying this, we have found our middle ground.
So that's good.
Yeah, where we're at right now. Like, so, like, is this not like it's never become a permission thing. Because it ever became a permission thing.
Oh no!
I would end it, and she knows that. But she knows that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she's not allowed to feel the way that she feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've had to explain to her about how it's been.
So she doesn't feel, or you don't feel that she has to come to everything.
No, and when I've told her that I don't want her to. Yes. That's the thing because
that is the main ingredient of failure.
Right. Well, it's become an emotional exercise I'm sure for both of us, but like for me, because I'm very, especially growing up, I've always been a very brash person. Mm-hmm. I've been either very quiet, and then when I do open my mouth, it's just very brash. So I'm figuring out how to find that middle ground too, mm-hmm. and to basically just make me digestible, because I know how I am as a person, and so it's like And she took it very well, and I explained it in a way that it was this is how I feel, but I still love you. Where I'm like, I don't want you to come to every stand-up show, not because I don't love you, but because I have a different hat on. I'm like, most of the shows that I get booked on, I'm also producing. And quite frankly, I like hanging out with comics. I have to be networking at that show, figuring out what the next step is. Who am I meeting? What are we doing next?
Yeah.
And
So you're saying the long way of what I say. It's not fucking date night.
yeah. Yeah, it's not date night.
It's
Exactly.
not date night.
Exactly. But
and
then
you're not going to be the very first priority because
Exactly.
you're wearing different hats. You're doing this, you're doing that.
Exactly.
But I got to say this for you though. Do you make her your safe space or your space outside of all of that?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
Oh yeah.
So that's been hard for me, bro. Like I've been three girlfriends. No, actually two, but
one of them just got pissed.
well, they know. I would say two serious.
Yeah.
The other ones were just,
Yeah.
But what happened was, the jealousy, the same things they love you for, they ended up hating you for, and looking around, and it's a lot of people there like that are, it's like these girls, they want to take pictures, and they want to, and they're laughing like, I know what it means when women laugh, like that type of shit.
And thankfully, I've never ran into that.
It's coming.
I hope not. I hope not.
If you're gonna be good, it's coming. I'm not even bullshitting you, bro. Like, it's gonna come. It's gonna come to that. But the good thing, you guys have a good foundation, because here's where I was fucking up. I just was like, oh, they're into me, and they wasn't. They were into the idea of the whole, that type of stuff. They didn't really know. And I went through some shit, bro. Like, I remember talking to this one girl, and we were at it was me, Josh Fournier. There was this, oh man, there was this guy. He was a doctor here, right? I called him Uncle Tom. He was an old white dude. He loved comedy, and he would produce shows, and he would pay. Uncle Tom would pay, bro. He ended up moving to Tampa.
Well, fuck.
This dude, when I say he would pay,
yeah.
feature 500.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna tell you what. Okay, so the show that I'm talking about, I was the feature and somebody else was the headliner. He gave me their money and told them, I'm never working with you again.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
Yeah. So
are they still doing comedy right now?
She knows who I'm talking about too.
Oh, fuck.
He said, I'll never. But anyway, we were at the UNM Conference Center. Fucking packed, bro. It was the girl that I'm talking to and her friend. Everybody's laughing, and I'm looking at them because they're in the front. She is pissed. So we get done. Everybody's coming up to me. Can I take a picture? What's your social media? Bro, that was hilarious. Dude, there was one dude who read the room. He was like, yeah, man, I was going to come up to you and tell you how great you did, but I see what you got to go home to, bro.
Well, you brought this up. You started by saying this. They weren't there for you. They weren't there for Robert Gibson. They were there for Buck D.
And so that's the problem that I have with dating. So my therapy sessions is that now. Because I don't know and I don't want to go through that shit. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the majority of women interaction I have now is people inboxing, wanting tickets, and from the like it's that type of shit. And it's just like, look at this, man. Like,
yeah.
Or they think they know me because they know my social media. Nobody wants to get to know you anymore. They already know you. They know you, and that's who you are. So it's just a weird spot, man. And you have it, but the better, the more you hone your skill, you're gonna deal with it, bro. You're gonna deal with it. But you guys have a good foundation.
Yeah, and
I didn't have good foundations, bro.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't think it's coming. I truly don't think so. Now,
You know why I say it's coming? Because you're gonna get way better.
Well, thank you. You hear that, you motherfuckers?
I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
We were just talking about when you work at it, you're gonna get way better. More people, more this, that, and the other, and it's just natural. Yeah, it's natural. But the thing is, how you deal with it.
No, see
how you guys deal with it,
right? And see, for me personally, I don't think she will get jealous like that. Now, if it does come,
I don't. Well,
if that does come, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and I'm confident that it's not an easy, but it'll be a conversation.
Let me ask you this then. Fuck that. I'm gonna ask you the hard questions. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you the hard questions.
Yeah.
What if she asks you, what do you love more? Me or what you're doing with comedy and everything else?
I would say that, yeah, so what I would say is that I love you. I also love what I'm doing, and anyone that has given me an ultimatum doesn't love me.
See, and she's going to say, that's not what I asked you.
Then I'm like, okay, then we have no conversation here.
Y'all are going to have problems. It's going to come, bro. I'm just saying, be prepared. But the best thing that is, you have a better foundation. Yeah. Plus, you have someone who's with you before all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I was in that situation too. I was with someone before I was with her I thought this was it. I was going to get married. That was it. And she was in my corner with the comedy, was at the first comedy. And as it got going, it was like, oh, this motherfucker, shit. Damn. It's not just, hey, I'm going to do comedy. Like, whoa. And she was Puerto Rican too, so that don't.
See, I have a Spanish girl.
That was that seasoning that was in it.
I picked the right one. I got a Spanish girl.
Yeah, so, and then I played a part too. That's the thing. You got to factor the part you're going to play in this too. I was going to say
that too. It's like, there's a lot of accountability. It's not just her.
No. You're going to start being like, I'm the shit. Look at this. Look what I'm doing. Look, people, I'm getting noticed. And then it's like, whoa. Or then you're going to have the aspect of you sharing a little too much of your personal. That's the shit I went through too. I had none. And I was so steadfast on fuck that. If you're in my life, you're going to be a part of whatever, especially if it's something that I can share. So, and I was with someone who was not a public person like that and did not like that. And that's where I was wrong because I didn't take that in consideration.
Yeah, and see, that's why I never use names. I never go into extreme detail. In my set, I have one joke that involves her, but it's not about her. It's about me fucking up. And like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely cognizant of that. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard thing that a lot of people do not think about before. And I see people, I've seen so many couples. I'm like, whoa, that ain't going to last. Yeah. That's not going to last.
Well, you talk about the humility issue. And right now, I can confidently say that there is not an inkling of like, I'm very not even happy. I'm very thankful for the podcast that I have.
I'm gonna let you talk that bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the real.
No, I'll be real. No, I'll be honest. Like, I'm very thankful for the podcast that I'm thankful that I have the tech that I do and where it's grown since my fucking garage. Yeah, I'm very thankful for all of that, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I've had for stand up. But I can confidently say there's obviously been times where I'm like, fuck, that went good. Oh shit, I might be good at this. Like, that's,
You're actually segueing into something else I want to talk about.
Okay,
but
sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
There have definitely been times where I'm like, oh fuck, that went really well. Like doing dry heat a couple of times, like going on the road to in the Mountain Gods, doing fucking Casadas. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad that went well. Yeah. Email me back. That'd be nice. Yeah. But I'm glad all of those went well, and I've definitely rode home and fuck, I might be good at this. But I've never had a head about me, and I'm very happy about that. And I also know that I have the friend group that I have that is not connected to stand up, that is not connected to any entertainment shit, and I have her, and I know for a fact
Keep you grounded.
that that if I ever had a head about me, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop acting like that. I know for a fact they'd be like that. So I'm not there right now. And if that
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and if I ever got to that point, I have more than enough people in my life that know me that don't give a shit about stand-up comedy that are like, hey, dickhead, stop it.
So the thing about this, what we do, you got to have a little bit of that in you.
Oh,
because
for sure.
if you don't, you're not going to succeed. But it's a healthy balance.
I was going to say
it's a real healthy balance. And so okay, I got to go back to when you were saying the podcast. Okay, you ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because this is how I am. That's how I feel. This shit is exceptional, bruh. And there is nothing wrong with you saying it before anybody else, because if you don't say it, I'm not gonna feel it.
Oh no, I know that.
And you can say it confidently and don't have to worry about, fuck, is anybody gonna think I'm this? Like, because I'm a big proponent of being your number one fan of yourself first. Because if you're not that, you're never gonna get real fans.
I agree completely. And that's what I mean.
I think a lot of people, not you, I think a lot of people view that the wrong way. And I also feel like if you don't do that, you, on the other hand, don't have the balls to tell someone, hey man, that was not the best, bro. That was horrible. I know you can do better than that. That wasn't it. Because now we're all on the patting on the back and everybody's great and everybody's this, and that is definitely, we know that's not the case.
No.
You could have an off night. Everybody has an off night. But in the whole realm of thing, you want to get to the point where you want your name mentioned. You want it because of not you saying it, because of your talent, because of your work, because of it's tangible. Go look at that. Look at this. Look at my podcast. Look at my stand-up. Look at my performance. Look at my consistency. So that's why, and I'm segueing into what I was wanting to talk about, I get so vocal about who and what is said about the comedy scene here. Right? I'm in a weird spot because I'm not one of the OGs, but I'm not one of the new people. See what I'm saying? When I say OGs, I'm not like Keith Breckenridge and Sarah and Steph, and they've been doing it. I call them the foundational people.
Because you just hit 10, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Really, and if you ask me, it's really 5. I was bullshitting the first 5 years. I ain't gonna lie to you. I came upon some opportunities and I was like, holy shit, how did I get here? But I also, when I started, I didn't have your mentality of, I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm better. I'm better than you. I don't care how long you've been doing it. I'm going to show you I'm better. I had a chip on my shoulder. Still do. And I still get bothered by the representation of our comedy scene. I still get fucking bothered, even though we're miles ahead of where we were. I feel like there's people who are just self-proclaiming things because they have a group of their own people and they're working in this little corner in this cubby hole, not working with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And we got a couple of those, and I just wish that shit would end because we got a big pool of comedians now. Different levels. Yeah, we do. We do. I ain't say they was all good. I just said we got a big pool.
I'm not either.
I feel like
as somebody that regularly books shows,
yeah.
If we have 30, I'll be shocked.
Say we do have 30. Out of those 30, 5 fuck with each other and do these over here. 5 do this. 4 do this.
Right.
Do this.
And I agree, but I don't give a shit about that. I give about who's funny.
So that's the thing. That's what I'm getting to. The problem is they're funny over here, but can't be over here and be funny. See what I'm saying?
Now
that's the problem that I have.
Okay, now is that
that's where the self-proclaiming comes from.
Right, but here's the issue though, in my opinion. My issue is that a lot of people in Albuquerque right now that are doing stand-up, a lot of them are relatively brand new.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think the issue, and I fall into this myself a lot when I'm trying to put together shows, my issue is that when you look at Albuquerque comedy as a whole, I think false expectations are getting put on people. Now,
explain that.
Exactly. Now, the caveat to that is that, and I am in this category 110%, that people are accepting opportunities they are not ready for. Now, that could be, let me finish. So that could be a bar show or a show in general, or that could be a comedy club.
I've seen that.
Whether it was Dry Heat, whether it's Casales, whatever. I think I know everybody that's been in Hyenas, and right now the local comedy community, like the local comics at Hyenas, has been 100% batting average. Not going to last long, but right now we are at 100% for everyone that I know that's been there. And that's Josh, Zach, Kurt, Eddie, AJ De Leon, and Carla. Am I missing anybody?
AJ De
Leon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, we're, as far as Hyenas is concerned, for all the locals they've brought in, we're at 100% batting average.
Right.
Which is good. Like I said, it's not going to last because, it is what it is. But I think, again, because I fall into this, where I'm like, if I book somebody for a show, I want them to be fucking awesome. But off nights do exist for everybody at every level. That exists. But then also...
But you also know who's going to prepare.
Exactly. And some people just may not have it. Or it's like for me, for example, I know that I fall into the category of most of the time my material is there, but my crowd work is not there. And there's other people where it's the exact opposite, where their material is iffy, but their crowd work is good. And there are some rooms where you can get by on material. But especially now that we don't really have Dry Heat anymore, it's just bar shows and then let's be honest, two corporate clubs.
Right.
Now it's, at the local level, get your fucking crowd work together. And then at the club level, it's you can get by on material. And I feel like there aren't a lot of comedians in the city right now that have a good blend of both. And I think that's the biggest dividing line between the people that are in the top tier and, quite frankly, everybody else. And then on the other hand, I look at it and I'm like, okay, you have the local bar, because it's just bar shows now. So you have the local shows where it's like, it's a catch-22 because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're great, but the only way they're going to get better, in theory, again, if they're preparing. I should have caveated this mindset by saying, I'm assuming that all comics booked on one of my shows, I'm assuming that they are preparing, they have material, they're trying to get better, they're in this to be a better comedian. They're not doing this just so they can justify having a couple beers at Red Door or at Brew Lab. No, they're doing this because they want to be a comic. That's what I'm assuming. Now, when I book people... No, for real. Like, I can confidently say that when I've personally booked somebody, I have had that thought about them. Yeah. So then... it's like, okay, maybe they're not as good as they could be, but they are getting better. But then there's off nights that happen, but then they only get better by getting more shows. But then I don't want my shows to be bad or AJ's shows to be bad.
There you go.
Because we work together, him and I.
There you go.
So it's like, I don't want my shows to be bad, but I want these people to get better. I know they can get better. And then I know, because I'm in that same exact point. So then you have this balancing act in putting a show together. And I'll just be completely honest, because I'm like, I'll put together a 4-person, 5-person lineup. And I'm like, okay, I know that if this is going to be a 5-person lineup, that these 3 people, regardless of where they're at, well, obviously the headliners are going to be great, but these 3 people are going to be great. I know they are reliable. Yeah. I know they're good. Now, these other 2 people might need some work, but I've seen them do well at shows. Yeah. I don't judge people off open mics, because open mics are, you're trying out new material. Yeah, whatever.
That's not a good gauge of anything.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's like, I know these 2 people can be great, so I'm going to book these 3. fuck, I hope these guys are good, but then at least I know that a feature and a headliner can pull it back together and do whatever.
Also, you know what that does outside of the producer role, just in the comedy role, it shows them you got work to do.
Right, exactly. And because I know that, especially lately, over the last like 4 months or so, more often than not, I have fallen into the category of can be good but needs more work. Mm-hmm. I know that. Right. So it's like, okay, well, like I said, most of the people in the comedy scene right now are under 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I think the accepted rule right now is you don't really find your voice until 10 years. So it's like, okay, now you have the exceptions.
Yeah, I've seen some people headlining. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Are we headlining or are we headlining?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I'll be completely honest. I had that conversation last year with AJ. Yeah. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. I told him that beforehand. Yeah. And he did 30 minutes, and it was there. Yeah. And I told him that afterwards.
But see, I think the problem is the more emphasis is put on the time than the actual content.
Right.
And the material.
Well, here's my thing. Words should still have meaning. Yeah. Titles should still have meaning.
Yes, there you go.
And we were having this conversation over text a while back where I was like, the time is going to come where I do a Noah Vargas and Friends. But when I do that, A, I'm going to be good. Mm-hmm. B, I'm going to be good enough or great enough to be a headliner. And I'm not going to put myself in that position just because I have friends.
Well, yeah, and I think people just like to say it. Oh, I headline. Right, no. I'm like,
yeah, but I don't want to say that thing about AJ without following up with what came out of it. Yeah, I told him that. I was like, hey, man, you're not a good 30-minute. You stop it. Yeah. However, this is where we should focus. Yeah. And now you flash forward about maybe because when did he do that? Oh, yeah, he did that fucking 2 Decembers ago. Mm-hmm. So you flash forward a year and a half, he just did 4 shows at Hyenas, and each time he fucking smacked. Mm-hmm. And even his hosting is getting better at Safe House. Yeah.
There you go. You got to work on it.
Yeah, he did really well at First Friday. He got first at First Fridays last month. Mm-hmm. So it's like where you're building, if your comedy career is this giant, because I'm a nerd, a giant Millennium Falcon Lego set. You can't just slap the Lego set together. Yeah. You got to figure out the base. Yeah. And then you build it all together. And that's what he's been doing. And he's a fucking, I would put full confidence in anywhere between 8 minutes to 15. Mm-hmm. He's got it.
That's But when the foundation.
But then when people start saying, "Oh no, I got booked for this," or "I got booked for," and that's why I loved the episode with Cardo so much that you did, because he flat out admitted that he was not ready for that headline set. Yeah. And you know what? I understand the rationale and why he accepted doing that. I get it, but on the other hand, at the end of the day, all that really matters is did the audience like it? Yeah. And it sounds like they didn't. So that's something he needs to take in consideration and move forward. And I know that he is. Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, there's a healthy delusion where it's like, I can be good enough to do stand-up comedy, or at least at your level where it's like, I know that I'm good enough now and I'm delusional enough to keep this going. And then there's unhealthy delusion. Yeah. Where it's like, oh yeah, I can still do this.
It's a lot. And that's like, a lot out here. It is a lot.
But again, how much of that is people that are under 6 years? Yeah. Where it's like, should they? My question would be,
it's some over.
Right. Okay. I'll stop talking after this. But here's a question for you: is that if they're under the 6 year mark, should they be as good as you expect them to be? Should they be yet?
Say that again now.
Like so, if these people are, how do I put this? Like, it's like, should we? I guess what type of expectations should the Albuquerque comedy scene have as a whole? Because again, a lot of them are under 6 years. Then you have a gap, and then you have people over 10. Right? There's a huge, a huge distance there between, I'd say, 6 and 10. There's a huge distance there. So it's like, okay,
I'm gonna be real with you.
What type of expectations should we be having?
I'm gonna be real with you. There is more in that range that you said that are good than it is over 10.
So there's your unhealthy and your healthy.
Yes.
Fair enough.
You know why? because you got to look at where that frame of 6, where they started and what they had to work with. So there was a lot, I'm telling you, there was a lot of bullshit, bro, that was being championed as good comedy out here. And a lot of them, you don't see them no more, but they'll still come on the scene like, oh, I was doing it, but it wasn't good.
So why does it matter, though?
It doesn't, thank you. It does not fucking matter. So you have people like Trip. I'm taking Trip over 90% of people in this city who's been doing it longer than me. I'm not lying to you.
Well, he's heard it.
I'm not lying to you.
And as a side note, I am so excited to do the roast battle next weekend.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
So excited.
It's gonna be. I can't wait. It's gonna be. I was looking at those matchups, and there's a few that I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. But going back to what you said, I just feel like I don't know, man. It's from me. I think I have a unique perspective because I'm not a part of the scene.
Yeah, you are.
Nah, no,
yes,
I'm not.
You are.
No. Be real with yourself. Be honest. I'm not a part of the scene, bro. I'm not.
What's your okay? So, what's your criteria for being a part of the scene?
When you go places, do you see me?
That's your choice, though.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Okay.
I'm saying, like. And I love it though. I love it.
Okay, you know why you're a part of the scene. You know why you're a part of the scene.
Tell me why.
Is because whenever people ask, and maybe.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah,
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
But maybe I'm biased because of the circle that I have.
Yeah.
Of comics.
Yeah.
But whenever the conversation comes up, with or without me present, because my friends that my mostly, I mean, they're all actually musician friends. But when they talk about stand-ups, like who are the best in the city, you always come up.
No. You're talking about a different subject. I'm talking about within the scene.
Yeah.
So you're talking about people that are not a part of the scene.
People in the scene say you too. No, let that not be. I thought that was understood. Oh no, let that be. Damn, you're gonna try to take my chip away from my shoulder now. Well, I'm just saying. Well,
because I say that because this, man. I watch, bro. Because for whatever reason, and I think, and I know this is for not just the scene here. This is the scenes across America. It's not just about talent. It's not. People don't like that I'm an outspoken person. I'll tell you exactly what I think. I don't smooze. I'll look you dead in your eye and I'll tell you. Even if you ask it, if you don't ask. I think we need more of that, and it bugs the fuck out of me that we don't do that. And I don't think we'll ever get to that level.
Yeah, we will.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we will.
I fucking hope so.
I think this is a key ingredient.
I fucking hope so because
yeah, I think
there's been so much mediocrity that's been applauded, and I'm so tired of it, bruh. And the reason why I say I'm not a part of the scene is because I look at lists. I look at who gets. Wait! Don't roll your eyes.
I'm going to.
Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll. That is a problem. That is a problem because here's why I say it's a problem. We know it's not about us. It's about the people who consume this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm not talking about in the city. I'm talking about the people who come to the city or people who are visiting or whatever right there. So, you know, people here know me, yeah. But when you come in and you don't know and okay. That's what bothers me. Because I think we still allow people who know nothing about us to say who's who. I don't like that.
So
I hate that. I think we have to take more control of that. And I think if we don't do that, that's where too much of the bullshit will be seen when it shouldn't be.
So I'm trying to remember, because what I'm assuming you were alluding to is like Albuquerque the magazine, their lineup for the best comic.
All of that.
And let's be honest, the what's it called? The lineup for the New Mexico Entertainment best comedian. I saw that, and I agree with it. To be honest, from what I remember who's on it, it's like the Mexico Entertainment. Now, should you have been left off of it? No. Now,
no, we know why I was left off of that.
Right. Yeah, because you had that fucking podcast, but you talked shit to her face. Yeah.
I told her. I didn't talk shit. I told her the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But removing that, let's just look at Albuquerque the magazine.
Yeah.
What it looks like to me is, from what because I remember because Tripp won last year, and then under him it was Jake wasn't on it.
I don't even remember.
Josh, Sarah, Zach Abeda. That's what it was.
Was it?
Yeah. So it was Tripp, Josh, Zach. I don't even know if Josh was on it, but I know for a fact that Sarah, Zach, and Tripp were on it.
Yeah.
When I look at that, I'm like, okay, yes, all of them are funny, correct. But what I also look at is name recognition and how much of them have been doing shows lately.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my only pushback would be like, is if you, because you're right, you're not a part of the scene in the respect that you're not on a ton of local shows. And I'm still very thankful that you did my bullshit little heckle mic that you did at Safe House.
You know what? So let's pause right here.
Okay.
Let's get this misconception out of the way, because I don't know who started the Buck won't do your show shit.
He will do your show. Hey, he will do your show.
Or no, it's not even that. I think Steph told me this. He's like, bro, people don't ask you because they feel like they can't afford you. And I'm like, what? Huh? But it made sense the way I don't remember how he worded it, but it made a lot of sense. But I don't think it's that. I'm going to put the chip on my shoulder. You know what I think it is? We have too many people who are comics putting on shows who feel like, I don't want to put, how you said you want to put the best on your shows. A lot of people don't want to do that.
Well, if
it's a buddy system thing.
So
because you're seeing the same variation of shows from certain people.
If that exists,
and
it's
stupid.
Like, it's stupid.
It's dumb.
And that doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't help. And also, it's like there's groups, there's crowds you haven't performed in front of.
Yeah.
And these people know that you haven't. Why not bring you over so they can see? See what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't like that portion of it, where it's like,
that's fair.
I'm performing in front of these same people all the time, and I have these core group of comedians that I always use, and I know there's these others over here that's never been here, and they won't bring them over, and that's my problem. And I remember telling Sarah this when she had the podcast before Dry Heat came along. I think and I said, and she's like, "Do you think if a comedian opened a comedy club?" I was like, "It wouldn't." I said, because it would be, we have egos, bro, and there's a lot of people who haven't done this professionally, who are trying to be in a professional realm, but they're not, and it shows. You could see it you could see it, bro. If you ever went to a show, you'd be like, "Ooh, this ain't professional." Go to your shit. You'd be like, "Okay, these guys they're running a tight ship. They know how to and you could see the difference." So, shout out to Royal Wood when he put up the post. Was that today? Was that today? Yesterday when he said people paying per minute with all this shit, and I was like, "What?"
Well, can I be honest? I kind of see the logic.
Well, okay, explain it.
Here's why. The reason why I see the logic is because, I think he did, that Orlando guy. I met him last night actually at an open mic.
Okay.
I think he did his best defending himself, but I kind of get it, because then it's like, okay, let's put it this way. So when I did Casadas,
yeah,
I got paid $100 for the weekend.
Yeah.
Now, I keep saying this, like, it's the truth. I'm very blessed to where, like, I don't really give a fuck if I'm paid or not for stand-up. I'm in a position right now where I don't like if you're gonna pay me money, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I do shows for free every week.
I think that's what Steph was talking to me about.
I don't give a fuck about getting paid.
Yeah.
However, if you were to do the math on how much I got paid per minute, so I did a total of 40 minutes that whole weekend, which means I got paid $2.50 a minute. Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough, whatever. Now, if you're going to break down a rate, it was basically $25 a set, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally cool. But if you're going to break down, because I've ran into this personally with booking a headliner, which me and AJ debated very heavily between each other about whether or not this person should do it. He said we really should. I said, fine, let's see how this works out. And it worked out very poorly. He didn't do his whole time.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, no.
I believe he got paid the agreed rate that AJ, because AJ handles like the financial part of it because he's the one that got us into the venues.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is
that's
like
that professional shit. You cannot.
I agree. No, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
So then it's like if he was, I told him and everyone else, you are doing 40 minutes. Now, if you come in unprepared for 40 minutes, that is not it is my problem, but that is your issue to take care of.
Hold up.
So my point is though is that he only did like 28 minutes.
Hold on.
He got free 12.
So that's both of y'all's responsibility.
I agree.
Because you got to book somebody who you know got it.
I know. I shouldn't have caved.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have caved. No,
yeah.
I know that.
And then that person, even though this sounds dumb as hell, you can't take a gig you know you can't do, bro. Like, that goes back to what we were saying at the beginning.
I agree with that.
So
my point is, I agree with the minute thing. I get it.
I agree that... I think that has to be on a level of where you're at.
Can we be honest? It sounds, if you're breaking down dollar per minute, it sounds stingy.
No, it doesn't sound. It sounds. That's a good thing to do for people who aren't sure or who don't know what they have in their bag.
Well, it's a local thing.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna pay fucking? You think you're gonna go to Tim Dillon and be like, "Hey, you're gonna pay this much per minute"? No, Mr. Dillon, you're gonna get $5,000. And have a great weekend.
And so, okay, let's look at the source of who had an issue with it. So yeah, the people who've been doing it a little longer are gonna have an issue with it. So Royal's been doing it longer than me. So I understand why he has an issue with it. And I understand your point because, like you said, there's so many that haven't been doing it this long. So
it's good. It's good when applied to a local level. Mm-hmm. But don't expect to take that mentality to a fucking touring comic. Mm-hmm. That's not going to work out.
Don't even bring that shit to me. Like, I'm not.
But are you not? If you, let's be honest, like you have been around.
Bruh. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Same.
I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you on a 3-hour show. I can do it, bro.
All right, let's take a short break.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's got to tap out. I got to take a pee real quick.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're back. Okay. Feel free.
Yeah. So you asked me a question. You text me. Actually, you were one of many texts that I got that day. Texts in inboxes, DMs. So I made a post, right? I said, hey, if I were to headline Casatas and or Hyenas, would you come? And I did the little smirk emoji. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you why I did it. I did it for two reasons. Because from my experience and a lot of people's experience with comedy clubs, well, no, I'll say this. Here's a bad thing about me when it comes to comedy. I don't ask. I don't reach out. I don't go to places and ask, hey, can I do this? Can I do yours? Can I open for you? Can I feature for you?
Can I ask why not?
I'm going to get to it.
Okay.
So I don't ask. I don't ask Okay, let me put a caveat on that. I don't ask of people who know my work. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So also I know comedy clubs, when you're a headliner, it's not about being funny. Actually, they'd rather you put butts in the seats than to be funny. Are you a draw? So I was just checking the temperature on that because, I met, what's his name, from Hyenas. I was doing the last time I did the morning show, a couple of Fridays ago. He had, I can't remember his name. Good Lord. He's the booker, I believe.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name, like
young guy. Yeah.
But I'm looking through my fucking.
He had what's her name? She's the first Latina on Saturday Night Live. She
Melissa
was on.
Villaseñor.
Yeah, she was on, and so yes,
okay,
yep, yeah, and obviously, I didn't know who he was, and I was doing my thing, and Gina, shout out to Gina Leaf went there. She was like, "Hey, this is Buck. This is what I was telling you about," and he's like, "Yeah, we need to talk," and when I hear that, I'm like, okay, we'll talk. Like, I'm not gonna, hey, buddy, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a pride thing. Okay, I'll give you an example. So, Michael Blackson came to Casadas. I was like, yo, that's dope, and I'm a fan. So I shared it, and Steph said, bro, you need to let them know you need to be on the show. And I was like, whoa. I'm not going to do that. And then someone else was like, no, I know. I said, I don't do that. I said, because they know my work. If they wanted me on the show, they would have me on it. That's what I mean by that.
Can I push back on that?
Tell me why, and I'll tell you why not. Go ahead.
Well, because first of all, humans are humans. People make mistakes. That is a thing. In every facet of life, people make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Just like,
whoa. So no. I don't want you to think me not being on that show was a mistake.
No.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying like they might book the wrong person, or they might they might not think of you, not because they don't like you.
No.
But my point is like, you brought up a little bit earlier about how what your experience was with therapy and how that it helps you, and you figured out that a lot of things that maybe were putting a ceiling on your success. I'm not saying you have to go out asking for everything, but if you had done that Michael Blackson show, do you think that would have been a net positive for you in your career, even if you asked for it?
Yeah, but here's the thing. So. All right, I understand what you're saying. But I'm a firm believer in things happening organically or for a reason. I'm not going to go ask. Okay, now I'm going to be real with you. We got comedians that go to the comedy clubs here. Or they'll see who's coming and they'll get in a DM, "Hey, can I feature for you? Or can I open for you?" Ooh. I can't do that.
Why not?
I can't do that because the way that, I don't know how Hyenas works, but the way Casadas works, they know our work. For me, I'm like, let them do their job because they've seen all of us. We did the tryouts. They've had everybody on there. And me being who I am, I feel like if I were to ask, I probably could be there every fucking week. But that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right for me to use whatever leverage I feel that I have to go and take a opportunity away. Or also, the second part is what I was saying. They know my work. They know if they need me, I'm there. They've seen me. I've never, like people ask me, how did you feature for Jay Moore on what was that, New Year's Eve, and how did you get the Paul Rodriguez? I said they hit me. I didn't. Right. I don't know. I would never.
I would never. I'd be quite to be completely honest with you, I'd be quite disappointed.
Yeah.
If you were that kind of person.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah.
But
I'm big on let my work speak for itself.
But on the other hand, it doesn't. I don't think that you think it does, but I don't think it takes anything away from you to ask.
Also, I didn't tell you the last part of this. 'Cause I think you actually liked this post when I made it a few years ago. I'm one of the few. And this may be a negative. No, this may be a negative. I've been thinking about this. I cannot stand when I'm brought to the stage and somebody talks about who I've opened for and who I feature for. I've never liked that shit. I don't like it. Unless that person took me on the road with them, that's different. Because a lot of those opportunities you get for as being an open or as a feature for a big name, it's luck of the draw. Or, you see what I'm saying? And yeah, it sounds good. I think for me in my work, because we're different. We're all in different spaces in this shit.
Yeah.
For where I'm at, I want it to be my name that you're excited about. You're not excited because someone else's name is attached to mine or my name is attached to theirs. I want you to be like, fuck Buck D.
Well,
See what I'm saying? And that's the work.
Well, I agree, but how does that apply to you asking to be on a show?
I'm not going to ask to be on a show in Albuquerque.
Not even for Casadas or Hyenas.
Not going to ask.
But
you know why?
But don't you think...
Wait, hold on.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Because if we were... The conversation we had earlier, we know who's who. We know. There's not many.
Right, but in the we, is that the community or is that these bookers, which we already agreed on were corporate clubs?
That's their job, though. That's their job.
And you're trusting that these people who book,
bro. If I had
properly.
to go somewhere and audition and all that shit, they should know.
Okay. Casadas is obviously taken care of.
Yeah.
But even like Hyenas,
right?
I don't know.
So here's, and this is why I think I'm old school. I still go by the vouching system. See what I'm saying?
But how do you get your vouchers?
So who knows my work that's been at Hyenas?
Well, that's my point exactly. There's a new wave of comedians coming in that don't know who you are. Do you think it'd be incumbent upon you to make sure they know who you are?
No. Hold on. You named who was at Hyenas
past weekend?
Who's been there?
So I know Mencia came through. He was the first one.
No. I'm talking about the locals.
Oh, the locals.
I'm talking about locals.
Locals. Okay,
because that's who can do the vouching locally.
Yeah. So Zach, Josh, Carla, AJ De Leon, Kurt, and Eddie.
Because what still happens is when I go to Casadas, they ask, "Hey, who do you see?" What I'm saying? So for here, I'm not talking about when I go out of town. Yeah, I'm an asking motherfucker out of town. Here, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. And I don't know if that's a negative or a positive.
Personally, I think it's a negative because you spend most of your time here.
Yeah.
I mean, you live here and all that.
Okay, this goes back to where you said, where I was like, we know the scene. Like people know the scene, right?
So think about it like this. So we were talking about this where you had either you get told this or there's this impression of you that people will not locally, like I'm talking local bar shows.
Yeah.
Will not book you because they think they can't afford you.
Right.
Let's assume that. So
or I just won't do it.
Or you won't do it.
I think it's more that. I don't know where Steph got that.
Right. Wherever that is. This weird ambiguity that you won't do local shows, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
I know that firsthand. It's bullshit. It's not true.
Yeah.
So then maybe what if that is the case and you just knock it up a peg where as I'm just assuming, I have zero evidence of this being the truth, but hypothetically, what if the case was, because like you said, you got Jay Moore for New Year's, you got Paul Rodriguez. What if they are, like Casala specifically, they are saving you for these big guys?
Oh, yeah.
When in reality, you wouldn't mind doing fucking whoever.
Yeah.
Because you're just meeting, because if these comics are traveling around, they're obviously good enough to be traveling around regularly.
I want a headline.
But then you're also, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But then you're also putting yourself in front of more people in Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, whatever. You're putting yourself more in front of, and again, maybe this is just the rose-colored glasses that a new comic has, but in my opinion, it's like
you know what it is for me? Because I've never asked. I think that's the issue.
Okay.
You know what? That's the issue. So when I started, right, I did my own thing. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it my own way. Then when I got going, nobody was, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to keep doing my thing. So I think that's the problem with me. So I'm so used to, I'm going to do my own thing. They're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. And when I do get the opportunity, I'm going to kill it to where they're like, fuck. When we do need, we're going to call this dude. But it goes back to me not liking he's did this for Joe Torre. And
Well, I don't think that applies, though.
And my problem is, this is just a personal thing. I hate it because I want to be bigger than that. I want it to be on my merit, on everything.
Right, but your intro into a club doesn't matter. That shit. Personally, I don't think that applies to this conversation, just because like you can just tell them not to fucking say anything.
No. I'm not saying this is the same conversation. So, let's just go to the me not asking. I can't bring myself to sit down or I'm talking about in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Albuquerque. Hey man, I was wondering, would it be cool if hey, you know me, here's my, I can't do that. It's something within myself. And the reason why is because it's like, I know the work that I've put in. I know it. I know the quality. I know everything. And it's like, I put it to myself like this. Well, if I have to ask, that's not where I'm supposed to be. That's how I feel. In Albuquerque.
But what if
Albuquerque?
Right.
Yeah.
But what if because how do I put this? Like, because I kind of have the same mindset with how I view what the plan for my life is going to be. Mm-hmm. Is like, when people ask me like, why do you think, because I've had this question a lot, both on and off the podcast, where it's like, why do you think God does good things for you? Or why do you think it's God? Mm-hmm. Why is it not chance? Why is it not the universe? Why is it not you doing it? And I'm like, well, I have my belief system, but I also believe that God believes in hard work. And I also believe that his plan doesn't work out for me unless I take the necessary steps.
Right.
So taking that logic, is it necessarily a bad thing that the first time you go to Hyenas or a recurring set at Casadas is just because you said, hey, I want to do it? Is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing.
So I'll put it to you this way. From the feedback that I get, it's frowned upon.
From what feedback? I'm curious. No, I'm curious about that personally because here's my mindset.
Yeah.
I probably should have explained this in the beginning.
Yeah.
And this past weekend with AJ and William Montgomery really woke this up in me.
Yeah.
Because about a month ago, they announced that Dave Smith was coming to Hyenas.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to fucking claw my way into that club to open for Dave Smith.
Yeah.
Or like, because he's my dude. I love that guy. I'm like, I'm going to do that. It's like, I don't care how many EPKs I have to send. If I have to DM him directly, if I have to show up, I will do whatever I have to fucking get on that show. I send my EPK, nothing. I follow up.
Who did you send it to?
Okay.
That first yeah.
And you know how I got his email? I called the club. I called their number. And I was like, they called and I was like, hello, this is blank. How can I help you from Hyenas? And I was like, hi, my name is Novarez. I'm a local comedian. Where can I send an EPK? And like, here's the email.
Yeah.
And I was like, great, sounds good. And I verified with somebody else that I just named that's been at the club. that knows the owner.
Yeah.
Like the owner.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this the guy? Did I just get shafted? Is this their bullshit email or is this the real email?
The real one, yeah.
And he was like, no, that's the real one. And I was like, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Send an email, nothing. Follow up, nothing. I was like, okay, fuck it. Well, I'm just going to DM him directly. They end up removing the dates, whatever. So I kind of let that go to rest. I'm like, all right, I'll get to hyenas when I get to hyenas.
Yeah.
Like they will ask me or something will fall on my lap. Like it'll come. But then this past weekend that happened with AJ and Montgomery, I was like, you know what? AJ got this experience because he asked. And I'm done not asking. I know I have the ability to do hyenas. I know for a fact that I do. To guest, host, or open for it. I know I have the ability to. So I went through their lineup and I picked somebody out. And I'm like, you know what? When it comes a little bit closer to the date, so it's a little bit relevant, I'm going to fucking DM this person. I'm going to resend my EPK. I'm going to do everything that I can to get into this club because I know I have the ability to do it.
Right.
I'm not as big as you, obviously.
Right.
But I know that I have the ability.
I think that's the difference. I think, like I said, it's different levels of, because I want to headline, period. And I know I can. Not just with the material, with actually bringing people, being a draw and all that other stuff. So for me to, like, I'm not going to ask to do like something that I've already done. That's what I'm saying.
But maybe I just don't see the issue with that because like you obviously have, from my point of view, it's like you have the ability, you have the skill, you have the years under your belt, which is, now granted, we obviously know that years don't exactly equal skill.
Yeah.
But your years have equaled skill. So all of that is there. But I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand why.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
10 years. Okay. How many years you been doing this?
I'm just under 2.
8 years from now.
Yeah.
Albuquerque, right? You're one of the certified killers, headliners. So you want to headline one of those places, right? You featured there. They've, So are you doing the same thing that you was doing now 8 years from now?
Probably, but just with more ammunition. I'm like, look, this is everything that I have. These are, and not just my credentials and like who I featured for, or like my special that I have or whatever it is. I also have, hey, listen, I put up, like in your case, let's go specifically to your case.
Yeah.
I put up a post, I didn't share a funny video. I didn't make a meme. Whatever memes and promo videos are 10 years from now, I didn't do that. All I did was put up a status. And here are my analytics. Also, here are my analytics and engagements off of this platform, this platform, this platform. Here's the podcast that I do. Here's the weekly whatever or monthly whatever that I have. Here's all of this. Here's just the ammunition that I have that shows that if you put my name on here and I put this out to the people that are paying attention to me, here is the return you're going to get.
Right.
And if I have all of that 8 years from now, that justifies me even, because let's be honest, when you're putting an EPK together or you're putting a fucking, because I've done this with now granted, I love you very much. When my sponsor came to me, I had less than nothing, but they believed in what I had.
Yeah.
So now, though, when I have to, the very few times that I send them analytics, I'm like, hey, listen, in the last month, I had 10,000 views on this, and I had this many new followers. It still justifies the money that they're paying me.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, but you have that.
Yeah.
So then my point is 10 years down the road, when I have all of these numbers that show that I have the pull, yes, I'm still asking, I have all of this to justify why am I asking.
Let me ask you a question. What's the okay, if you're going to include the local comedy scene, right? What's your responsibility of knowing that scene?
I mean, in my opinion, if you are, because okay, so that goes into two different realms, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
that,
it does.
What that starts with is, let's say person A gets hired by the owner and says, "Hey, you're in charge of," because obviously it becomes this whole convoluted game of like how many managers and agents are contacting the club to get their headliner booked and whatever.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, to simplify this, hypothetically, there is this liaison at the club that is booking local comics only. And their job is to find feature acts, but definitely if needed, because a lot of comics travel with their person, or their chief responsibility is to find a opener or a host, then yes, it is very incumbent upon you to go ahead and figure out who the local comics are.
Yeah.
That is very, but let's be honest, these clubs don't have that. They have a booker, singular. And their job is to get, again, their job is asses and seats. Who are we going to book that's going to headline this club, that's going to be able to sell all the food, the drinks, the tickets? So maybe it just, I mean, obviously they have like let's be honest, like Casadas. They love Zach. They love Jake. They love, I mean, they kind of love Josh. But like they obviously very love you, and again I think they're just saving you for bigger people.
Which I think know. Yeah, I know what that is.
Which I think is nonsense. But I think they should be having you more. But obviously I'm biased. But I think that they are so concerned with the big guys that they're not concerned with the little guys.
Yeah. And that's exactly it.
Is it incumbent upon them to maybe go out to the scene more? Yes, but there's also so many hours in a day, and there's also so much brain.
Well, because I've seen it bite them in the ass.
Yeah, and listen, I just and that is why regularly I praise God that they have me on tape not bombing. I thank God. But my point is like, why? But then to flip that around on you though, if they are so focused on the big guys, wouldn't it be beneficial to them doing their job properly that the big guys of the local scene reach out to them saying, "Hey, what's up?"
Here's
I don't want to run around in circles, but you see my point, right?
I see your point, but oh man, it's because it's me. I'm telling you, it's a difference.
So if it's you,
no, it's a difference. It is a difference from me. Hey, can let me do this. Hey, give me that shot. Give me this. Than someone else. It's a difference. Now, I made that post for two reasons. One, I know how they do their headliner. They're not going to, if they do it, they're going to do how they did last year where they have a local, that type of thing. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I did it for two reasons. Because I know there's not many that can make that post because I tagged them. I tagged the clubs or whatever. And for them to see, this motherfucker got balls. Like, what the fuck? Like, and I want them to see. Yeah. I want them to see. Right. Like, and I'm talking shit, they know. They know who's who. They know what's what. They really do. They really do because they are businesses who are in tune with where the fuck they're at.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
I don't think Hyenas does.
Oh, I don't. When I say they, I mean Casadas.
Oh, okay. Yes,
because I don't know nothing about Hyenas.
Does,
I don't know nothing about them.
I have on good authority. This is not a knock on them, but I have on good authority that Hyenas is not in tune with the locals yet, which is fine.
Yeah,
they've been here since
but it'll get there. If they're putting locals on the shows already, it'll get there. It'll get there. I'm just. And the last thing is a manifestation thing on my part. I put it out there, it's going to happen. And it's not going to be a real thing. It's not going to be, let's just we have 4 comedians and everybody headlines. No, fuck that. Like,
you deserve better than that. I agree. But like.
That's my goal. That was the manifestation. I don't care when. But I want that under my belt. Like, that's a goal that I am striving for, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna, because I've already done my own shit. I've already done the hour special here, and I've put on shows where fucking 200-300 people come and I'm like, okay, I want to do it with that backdrop. I want to do it where nobody else. I want to be the first. To be honest, I want to be the first. I want to be the first where they could say, well, fuck, man, let's give these locals a shot at headlining. The people who can, not just fucking everybody.
Yeah.
And then also the people who coming up, they're looking like, well, fuck, that's what I want to do. That's attainable. I want to do that somewhere down the line when I'm ready. See what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I agree completely. And if given that opportunity, you could definitely fulfill that. But is asking lessening that? I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
See, this is what. Remember, where I said I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. This is where I waffle. This is where I go back and forth. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I think not asking is a negative.
It's I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It can happen
because it's like here, like, come on, man. The fuck are we talking about? It's fucking Albuquerque.
Well, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I think it can happen.
I did it for a lot of reasons, and I'll tell I'm not slated to headline anywhere. Yeah. I did that because I know nobody can make that post.
No, I mean I can.
I did it. I did it because I knew there's interest. There's people want to see it.
Yeah.
People want to be a part of it, and I want it too. And I also want the opportunities for others to do it too. And I also want other people to say, fuck that, I can do this. I can make that post too. Because it's more than just being funny. Like, you got to be a draw, bro. Like,
and that's the thing
you got to be a draw.
That's one of the big lacking aspects of local comedy is even the really good comics.
Yes, and I hate it.
Don't have a presence. Like they don't bring people to shows.
Yes, and you show up, you kill it, and you leave.
Yeah.
What does that do for you as a person who's throwing the show? Yeah, you had a good show, but these are people who come to every show.
Right, exactly.
See what I'm saying?
And and personally, I think that's a individual issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think so many people got their head down and they're so worried about this, they're not looking at the big picture of things. Like,
and let's be honest, it's tough building a social media following. It's tough.
It takes consistency, a long time, and you got to understand, if you're putting that comedian in your social media, people are going to hold you to that shit. They're going to hold you to it.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know.
Oh, it took me a long time to even put that in my shit. But
I only put it in my bio after I got booked for Casadas.
There you go. Once you get paid.
Well, it wasn't
or just booked by a comedy club.
Yeah, it wasn't even getting a paid thing. It was, if they're going to book me, they're eventually going to tell the headliner. I don't want the headliner to look at my page and like, who's this fucking...
Who the fuck is this?
Who's this dork?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, here's my question for you.
Yeah.
If you, do you have anything else to say on this subject?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, because you brought a little bit earlier how Sarah had asked you, what do you feel about a comedian opening a club?
Yeah.
And your response was?
I feel like the majority of ones here who've been doing it, I've seen the what happens. Like, one, you book your friends over and over and over again, and then two, you don't want to book people who you know will make you not look as strong in front of your people, and that's what usually happens with both. Like with me, that's why I love any comic that's probably started up in the last from Zach on. I made sure I don't put this person in front of people. Like I want to see if this is what they really want to do, or if they're good, or just put them in front of a different crowd that they're not used to, because that's what you do when you go out of town. When you're out of town, you don't know fucking nobody. They're probably there because they heard somebody else was going to be there, and then you're there, and then that's, you know what I mean?
No, man, I haven't and I'm announcing it tomorrow, but I got booked for a show out in Austin.
That's what's up,
and we're
bro.
going at the end of the month.
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna front about it. I got booked because the person that's put on the show is a friend of mine, but she also has seen she helped me put my EPK together, and she sees that I'm funny.
Bro, that's how all of this shit works.
Yeah.
Networking with other comics
but the
somebody believing in you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get out in front of people that don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah. Because that's going to be the gauge.
Yeah.
That's going to be when you get your ass away from your nest and you're like, yo, funny travels. When you're not funny, that shit don't go nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
That's exciting, bro. It's exciting. Like,
it's going to be at the creek.
It's crazy because I had a memory come up. I did a comedy in Fairbanks, Alaska, and I was like...
Is that when the cops got fucking... that was in Texas.
No, that was in Texas.
That was in Texas.
So I don't know if you saw that picture. I was under the Fairbanks Fisherman's Wharf thing. And I remember that plane ride. I'm like, what the fuck? How are these people gonna... That, to me, that was the biggest gauge of, oh, you got this shit, bro. Like,
yeah.
I did a joke. I said something... and they didn't get it. I was like, oh my God, y'all are slower than Eskimo snot. And they fucking went crazy. And I was like, cool, that lets me know. But yeah, that's the big gauge, bro. Like the cheat code is when you're in your nest, bro. When you get out of that mug and you get the fly in and you be like, well, fuck, hell yeah. Yeah.
But you asked about...
Oh, so why'd you ask me that question?
Yeah.
Huh?
Why did I?
Why did you ask that question?
Well, because you have a big thing coming up.
Yeah, so here's the thing, you guys. By the time you guys hear this, it should be open. It's called the Rhythm Room. Rhythm Room Comedy and R&B Lounge. Yeah. It's official. Me, Six. We got a team. It's official. The jokes and everything that we do, we have a home for it. Jokes and jams, 30 and over, all the ideas that we have, live bands, all of that shit under one fucking roof. It's ours. We're not making no other venue any more fucking money. We're not lining y'all's pockets. We're not packing your places out on nights nobody usually goes to your shit. That shit's over with. It's called Rhythm Room R&B and Comedy Lounge. And in the back of it, we have a speakeasy. It's called Poor Decisions. Yes. So, if you're a comedian and you're looking for a home for you want to do shows or specials, hit us up. We're open to everybody. We've sat down, we've talked to a few people already. But we want to make it inclusive. I don't care I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, your skill level does count.
If you're gonna say anything about fucking skill level.
No, I'm lying about that. But no, I don't care if I don't know you. That's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember how it was, bro. When I had my room, and to have somewhere that's your own is so dope, bro. Like what you guys are doing. And I remember talking to AJ, and he was, nobody books me. He said, do your own shit. This is the great thing about Albuquerque. You can do your own shit and grow it organically. The word will get out. You be consistent. That shit will sprout. So, yeah, and we already have names booked. So we're going to be doing regional shows. We're going to do national shows. We're doing all that shit. We've been on this shit for months. We haven't said nothing. That's why y'all haven't been seeing the podcast as consistently, because we've been busy as fuck, y'all.
I just want to say because the reason I found this out was because of the Gong Show getting canceled. Canceled,
postponed,
rescheduled.
There you go.
And I couldn't, because if there was any comic in the city where it's like, yeah, that makes sense, it's you.
Yeah.
this is where, because you are the person that I trust, because you and Six obviously have the marketing down,
Right?
You have the business side of both music and comedy. You have that to a pretty good tee, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's room for improvement with everything, but like
always.
What you guys have is good, and your numbers show that. You've taken, Jokes and Jams on the road.
Yes.
From what you were telling me, that went very well.
Oh, that shit, man. Phoenix is supposed to be the next city. Phoenix and then Denver. But with the club opening, I don't know.
But I don't know. This is going to be a huge.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I mean, obviously this has to be said. If done correctly, I trust that it will.
Yeah.
But if done correctly, this is going to be a huge net positive.
Yes.
Because, I mean, look, I'm not trying to talk shit, but like, if it's a comedy club, let's be perfectly honest. If it's a comedy club and you are showcasing local comedy in any kind of way, you need to be showcasing the best of local comedy.
Yes.
And if the local comedy scene you are in only has bar shows for local comics to grow in, so be it. We're not Austin. We're not LA. We're not Chicago. We're not New York. And quite frankly, that's fine.
It's cool.
That's fine.
You could still flourish. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you guys. I hate when people be like, oh, it's Albuquerque. And I used to be the way. I used to be that way. Big names told me, man, I wish I was in your position. You can fucking corner the fucking market. You can, don't get this big fish and small pond shit out of your head. Stop thinking, there's so many people who are like, Albuquerque, it can be what it can be, but nobody puts the effort into it because they don't view it that way. I've talked to big names and they're like, man, we want to come to Albuquerque, but nobody fucks with us, or nobody wants, we can't get in here. We can't do this. And we want it to be that place. We want to be that place where if someone's coming from Phoenix and going to Denver, they're going from Denver to fucking...
No longer a flyover state.
Exactly. And we have those relationships. And if we haven't had them, we haven't made them yet, we will make them. Like, we got it all covered, man.
You were showing me the pictures, and this is going to be a...
We got Larry on the SEO, bro. Like, all of this shit, it's going to be a great situation, bro. It's going to be great. And anybody that's listening and you throw a show and it's quality, who I'm talking to, talk to us. You will not be fucked over anymore. You won't be, you put butts in the seats and you walking away in your pockets like, what the fuck? Like, nah, no more. You're not getting percentages of the bar, none of that shit. No more they taking your door, none of that shit, man. That's over with. That's done.
I want this to work out bad. Because
I've heard your frustrations, bro.
Well, because my frustration with local comedy is just that...
Even that side and the business side.
Like, I think that me personally, maybe it's because I just never really asked for much. My only frustration, my first and foremost frustration with comedy is me. I want to be better. Like, I have the drive, and I know that I have the work ethic, and I know that I have like the gumption to be better. I just need to keep doing it, and it'll come. I'm confident that it'll come.
Do you find it hard to watch comedy?
No, I love comedy.
Damn, bro.
I will say this. I know why you're asking, because every Tuesday mornings, I watch Kill Tony Tuesday mornings. Every Tuesday morning, I'm in my office at my job, and I'm watching Kill Tony, and I'm like, motherfucker, I want to be there. I want to do that. I want to get on that fucking, like, when I go out to Austin here next month, I'm going to I want to be pulled out of that bucket. I want to prove what I can do. And then also, when I get booked, when I do my friend's show, I want to fucking smash it. When I go, I'm trying to get booked for some few other shows out there locally, but I want to go out there and show them that, I can do well. Albuquerque has good comedians.
Yeah.
and push it out there. Like, I know what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like my first frustration with stand-up comedy is probably always going to be me. But then now the second frustration is that there is such a gap between now obviously I'm biased. I think Safe House is a great room for comedy, but we have at the best good bar shows and then clubs. And the deficit in which you have to make that jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that your club is going to fill that deficit. What I'm saying, though, is that your club is going to highlight the best of what local comedy has to offer.
Yeah.
And if done properly, that will be a key launching pad for local comics. For that, when you bring bigger acts in, because more opportunities for the best of local comedians is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So when you put their names in front of, like for instance, when I was at Casadas and I was talking to the feature, CJ, super nice guy. He was like, yeah, I was just doing unpaid spots at the Comedy Store, and Caroline Ray saw me, really loved me, saw me do it 2 or 3 times, picked me out of a lot, and now I'm on tour with her. I'm not saying it's going to happen for every comic, but what I'm saying is just
the opportunity for it to happen.
The opportunity for that to happen, and just getting your name in front of like Josh. I don't think he'll be upset with me saying this, but the reason that he got Hyenas is because Sam Talent vouched for him. Like, people get upset about the networking side of entertainment.
Oh no, that's
it. A, it is what it is. It's never going to go away. Get over it. And B, these are businesses at the end of the day. If we're talking strictly stand-up, they are businesses. They want asses in seats, and they want quality shows so people continue to come back. If they are going to keep booking shitty people, their business goes down.
Yes.
So, of course, they're going to go off of the vouch of the best in the game. So get yourself there and figure it out. And the more opportunities that local comics have to do that, the better. And if done correctly, this is going to be one of them. I'm so excited, dude.
The vouchers, that's why I love the vouch, bro, because you can't cheat the vouch, bro. Like, it's like, I remember the first big vouch that I got, bro, and I was like, you heard of me from who? It was AJ Johnson, and I thought this dude hated me. Rest in peace, man. He passed away a couple years ago. AJ Johnson was, if you watch Friday, he was Ezel. He was the little crackhead. And
oh, no shit.
Yeah, Ezel. So I don't know if you've ever seen his stand-up. This dude is a fucking killer. So I remember watching his stand-up, movies and stuff, and we did a show here where it was one of the first times I headlined. Got him to be the host. And he was like, well, I'm bringing my guy. I want him to feature. Never seen this dude. I was like, all right, that's your dude. Dude was horrible, bro. And he was going on and on and on, and the crowd was like turning on him. And AJ was getting pissed. So now he's mad at me. He was like, oh, these people came to see you. Fuck that. He's talking hella shit. And so he brings me up, and the way it was done was I'm doing my thing, and they were seated behind me. And he was talking, making faces, like, oh, everybody's laughing. He's like, oh, he's just making faces. And so I get done, and he goes, everybody's going crazy. He goes, y'all like that bullshit? That's what he said. And so I said, what the fuck? I got pissed. I was like, what the fuck? And so we ended up roasting each other.
That's funny.
Face to face. Somebody has that. I think somebody put it on YouTube or whatever. So I thought the dude didn't like me. That's the last time we didn't take no pictures, nothing. We roasted for like 30 minutes, bro, and he just leaves, I leave. So I get booked to do this show for I don't know what fraternity it was. They had the regional thing at the Sheridan right there in Louisiana. Go in, man. Guess who's the fucking host? AJ Johnson. So I was like, fuck, man. And he looks at me, I'm in the dressing room. He's like, hey, man, let me holler at you real quick. And he goes, you know what I like about you? He said, he said, you didn't back down. You didn't give a fuck who I was. You roasted the shit out of me in front of all those people. And he's like, and you were funny as shit. He said, I couldn't tell you that. He's like, fuck you. He's like, I can't tell you that. So maybe 3-4 years later, Joe Torre comes to the city and his manager hits me up. AJ Johnson vouched for you, bro. And I was like, what? I heard you was the man. I was like, bro, I almost started crying because I was like, I thought that dude fucking hated me, bro. So I say that because the vouch is, I don't care what level it's on, bro. Like, that's why when I say, I'll tell you who sucks, but I also will tell you who's great, because people do call me. People call me from out of town or, casinos, like who else? And that's a big thing in the community. I don't think that's going to be a lost art at all. I know we have the social media, we have all that, but that vouch, bro, when you get it from the right person, you can be put in some damn good positions, for real.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this turns into.
I'm ready, bro. This shit, oh man, you don't understand. Like, I'm so fucking excited. Like, the ideas that we have, the people, we want to, just the inclusion, you know what I mean? Like, and we have a following. We know we're not even worried about that. It's just the people who don't follow us. We want to give the opportunity for everybody to come through those doors, bro. And I don't care if it's comedy, I don't care if it's shows. We got so many ideas that we have solid that nobody's doing in the city. Like, nobody. I want to bring so I had this, what I used to do at, when I had my room.
Nexus,
I used to have it was called the Fishbowl of Funny, where everybody would come in and you would write shit down and put it in the fishbowl.
Oh, yeah, like bottom of the barrel.
And I don't give a fuck. Like, that was me testing myself. And it was just, this is when no comedian was fucking with me. Me for an hour, just pulling out that shit, bro. Just watching it, like, oh, these people are fucking with this. Like, yes. Like, just staying sharp.
I would love,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
and I want to do that with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just the traditional, hey, we got 3 or 4 comedians, let's do a comedy show. No, I want to put us to the test. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to show people the talents that we have, like the funny shit that people don't think we can do that we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the different things, bro.
What are you worried about?
What am I worried about?
With opening a club. It can't be nothing.
Oh, worried about everything, bro. You're worried about little shit, like if the POS system be working the day of. Worried about the plumbing. Worried about, you know what I mean? Like, it's more of the customer service side of the shit. Will people come back because it was an experience for them that they don't get anywhere else? See what I'm saying? Because we look at it as we've been to these places, we've put on our own things at other places, and we know what we were upset about. Like, damn, I've been here this long and haven't got a drink. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or these people, they bought VIP and they got to still stand up and go walk to the bar to get a drink. No, fuck that. Like, to me, that's the thing that scares me. I want people, because, this place is critical as fuck, bro. Like, it takes one time. It's not even one time. It takes one person. It takes one person to be like.
It's a product of being in a poor state.
One person. Man, this was some bullshit. Oh, I'm not going. I already knew. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm worried about.
When are you hiring staff?
We're actively doing it now, but here's the thing: we already have them.
Good.
We already have them. Good. We plucked, bro. We know who's who because of what we do. We've been going to. We've plucked.
Let me change. Yeah. Let me change that question.
Yeah.
Staff is too broad.
Yeah.
When are you picking or hiring wait staff?
Oh, that's already done.
Okay, already done. Cool.
Yeah.
Are you using a door guy system?
Yes.
Have you already picked them?
Yes, we already have them.
Fucking beautiful.
We have the same door people that's been at our. If you've ever, I don't think you've been to any of our events. We have those same door people Boom.
Oh, I mean, are the door guys comedians? That's my asking.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's why I thought door guy system.
No. So here's the thing. I'm looking at it as I'm talking about for the comedy events. Yes. Because we want to have that professional feel, bro.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got to, bro. Like, I thought you were asking in general.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. Yeah. I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
But now I'm asking, like, because again, maybe just because I'm a fucking nerd, but I just think, like, does this turn into a place where they have regulars? Does this turn into a place where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because obviously my brain just immediately goes to the store.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of what, not for a bad thing,
yeah,
but that's just what a lot of comedy clubs do their best to emulate.
They try it. Yeah.
And it's like what can they do to model the success?
Yeah.
And that's why I asked about it.
Because that's the mold, bro.
Yeah.
That's the mold. Oh, I got a phone call.
All right. So, the comedy club.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you already have shows planned out.
Yeah. We're like 2.5, 3 months out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Where is it located?
And it is okay. So you know where Bourbon and Boots is?
Yes.
So across the street from there, you have that club 401. Now, if you go north, right behind 401, and I love it because it's not on Central, but it kind of is. And we have the parking garage and all that good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's a home for all of these comedians I've been wanting to see here. Not like who are like in their own little local scenes that are so dope that have not been here enough that people here need to find out about, like Anthony Austin Brown, man. And
I've heard that name.
Oh, bro, that guy. So when I did, I've heard that name. He actually just shot a special, I want to say last month in El Paso. So when I did the this is so crazy. I was a part of an El Paso's Funniest Comic.
Oh yeah, I know who. I've seen him. Yeah.
At the comic strip, right? And I damn near won that shit. Until the dude was like, "You can't let him win. He's not even from here. He's from Albuquerque." But what was so dope, after that competition show, he headlined. So that was my first time seeing him. And to me, he's not just a comic. He's an entertainer. Like, this dude can sing and dance and do impressions. Like, he's dope. And I'm like, man, I'm big on singing the praises of people who should. And that guy, he's one. There's a couple of fellas, a couple of ladies in Phoenix. I want to bring back the Queens of the Southwest show.
I was going to say, I went to that show that you weren't, because you had to go to the hospital, unfortunately. Yeah. But I went to that show.
You went to that show?
Yeah.
I never knew you went to that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the venue, but I enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. See the shit that we was going through?
I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
And that show deserves so much more love than it got. Mm-hmm. Bring that exact lineup. Bring him back.
Yes.
Get him back in here.
Yes. Shout out to Tara Shakespeare. Tara's actually in New Orleans now, but I'm going to hit her up.
She's fucking hilarious.
Tara.
Is she still doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because she's fucking hilarious.
She moved to New Orleans.
Okay.
Shanae Ross from Denver. Now, see, the crazy thing is I met all of these ladies through, so Jamar, that's how I met Tara. Jamar knew Tara and had her at one of the breweries here. And she was like, "You live here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she actually got me in the comedy, the House of Comedy in Phoenix.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So that was my first time doing the House of Comedy was through her. And then Shanae was through Zach. When Zach was doing the was that in Santa Fe? He used to do the casino show past Santa Fe, whatever. And so I was like, "Yo, you're dope." Like, and that's why I love doing shows with people I don't know, because I'm like, yo, if I feel like you're dope, I gotta get you on something. Like, and it's been a lot of people like that. Like when I first saw AJ, both AJs, fucking, hey, fuck that. Put you out. Let's get you in front of people. Like, I think, I don't think everybody has the opportunity to do that. I think if you have any opportunity to give someone, even if it's a small opportunity, do it, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's seeing them, and you never know what new fans like how you would have never saw her, right?
No.
And
no.
she's great, man.
Killer.
She's great.
Killer.
She's great. Yeah. And we're definitely doing that. I want to do a Kings of the Southwest. I have a bunch of like comedy shit that I want to do from meeting people, bringing people from Houston that I met when I was down there, and because they were like, "You're in Albuquerque, bro? What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm telling y'all, bro, it ain't just me. I'm telling you." And like, so that's, people. The club manager in Corpus Christi, like all of them, like, and we just wanted to make it to where it's our shit, where we don't have to. Well, we got to see if this works, or fuck that. When do you want to come?
Yep, you're like
you can have a whole fucking weekend. Let's go.
Like a 5-year-old who created their own playground. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want. You play whatever games you like.
Whatever.
Well, listen, I'm fucking excited, man.
Yeah, man. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope.
This has been a blast.
Yeah, man. We can talk for fucking ever, bro.
Thank you again for coming and doing this.
No, hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for not making this the usual conversations I have on podcasts. If you're listening, if you're going to have me on your podcast, if you want me on your podcast, do it like this. Don't. Because I think a lot of people love the sensational part, and they want to be like, "Who sucks? Who's this?" I'm like, "No, that's our podcast. Do your podcast. Do your shit."
So he didn't want me stealing his thunder.
No,
that's
dude,
what he's saying.
No. I like that you ask about me. Like it's more. You didn't ask me about the radio. You didn't. I love that, bro, because you wear different hats. You're well rounded. You want to know. You want to know personally, and a lot of other people want to know, well, what else is this about? Like, what else is there besides the stuff we already see? Well, I think that's the most important thing.
Well, much like you were thank you. And much like you were describing with your club you're opening up, that's why I love doing this by myself. Mm-hmm. Is I book people that I want to talk to. Yeah. I'm only interested in. And if I am interested in you, I'm going to ask you questions about you. Yeah. So thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Anytime.
And where can everyone find out information? Because by the time this comes out, the club will be open. Yes. I want to put this out the week following your opening weekend. Gotcha. So where can everyone find out more information about the club? Where can they find more information about you? All that.
So what you want to do, go to my website is robertbuckdgibson.com. And you will be seeing, well, by the time you hear this, it's already out. It's going to be called rhythmroom.com. You will see it. It will be everywhere on social media. So, yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. You won't miss it. Trust me. If you follow this podcast, if you follow Noah, you will be seeing it. And also, bro, I need another drop, bro, with the new name.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Because you're still in rotation, and I was like, I've been meaning to reach out to you. Yeah. So if anybody, also, I'm gonna say this, because I haven't said this publicly. I haven't even said this on my social media. If you want to just get your name on the radio without having to pay for shit, email me a drop of what you want to do is you want to say, Albuquerque nights or Albuquerque weekends, or you could do both. Say your name, what you're a part of, and make sure at the end you say Kiss 97.3, and I will definitely put you in the rotation. You don't even have to listen to the radio, but once you get me that and it's clean, about 10 seconds, if you send me that to my email address, buck.dangerous@gmail.com, I'll put it on the radio.
He will.
I will.
He will. I've had people come up to me like, I heard you on the radio. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's. I put it. I'm on the radio 7 days a week. Yeah, and it's in the rotation, bro. And that's one thing. The reason why I do that is because I remember when I did listen to the radio a lot when I was younger, when radio was bigger. it didn't. I wasn't moved when I heard the big names. It was the people that I knew. You know what I mean? You'd be like, yo, you on the radio. Like, and nobody does that here. I think we're so, the big names. Like, yeah, I could pay to get drops from names of people who I don't know. They don't know me. I want to do it for the people in the city that people know. You can see in fucking Smiths and be like, yo, I heard you on the radio. And to the people who haven't hit me back, fuck y'all, man. There's a lot of y'all who haven't hit me back. That's cool, though. I ain't gonna. It's a bunch of fucking comedians. And I'm like.
That's surprising.
Wow.
That's surprising.
Nah, man. I want me to name the comedians who have.
You can go right ahead.
You, AJ De Leon still in the rotation. Trip still in the rotation. Sarah. That's it. Bro, I made a group chat. Hey, the same spiel I get. That's the only ones I got.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Crazy, right, bro? Like, that's a part of you getting your...
That's their fault, though. Fuck them.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, it's free. Like, it ain't shit on the radio free.
You have to pay for that stuff normally.
At KISS, it's a whole lot.
You have to pay for that.
My boss was like, you're a fucking genius, bro. I was like, yeah, that little 10 seconds, and you hear it throughout the week, bro, people remember that shit. My daughter has a drop. You're listening to my daddy. What did she say? You're listening to my daddy. Buck D, Albuquerque weekends, KISS 97.3. Just like that, daddy. People know that. I'm telling you, bro. It's easy.
And that speaks to who you are, man. So I really appreciate all the...
Send me the new one, bro.
I will.
I need it.
Or I'll make you a new one. But I appreciate all the... I appreciate you coming on, but just all the advice you've given me, the professional tips, and just the
you gave me some advice too, bro. You gave me one big piece of advice, and I'm gonna take it. I might BCC you on it too, just so you can see. And also, before I leave, hey, if y'all got a comedy show, have me on it. Trust me. Don't. But I'll say this: Don't call or ask me to fucking host that shit. I'm a comedian first, y'all.
Yeah.
Have me on it. Real shit.
This has been a great time, man. Thank you very much. We're gonna do it again sometime. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.